Shalom. I steal Jacob's countdown from time to time. Hey, everybody, it's me. It's me. How's it going? It's me. But maybe. Hold on. We'll see. But first, I'm have to clicking and then more clicking. Hi. I'm clicking, but this clicking is for you. And this goes over here. Hey, everybody, I'm getting there. How are you this fine evening? I know you. Those of you who follow me explicitly are out of savings throws because of all of the things that have been today. But the thing is, I'm going to meet with Sleeper's Cell Shane tomorrow, or there's someone been emailing me I'm going to meet with. I think that guy been on the live stream a couple times, but I ain't sure. So, hey Toots, are you ready for a new shirt if it happens before the baby comes? We got a deal in the works, but it's a big charity gig. I don't want to say more until I hear more from Mudhut, but there might be a new shirt. There might be more merch in the pipes. The merch we do have is I think available in the links in the description. And because I face potential assassination tomorrow, the thing is I thought if they do kill you, you want to make sure that you make them wonder, well, what was the motive? And put a whole bunch of content out right before. So, yes, Lobster Monkey Rascal merch might be coming soon. This is one emanation of a hop vibration. I'm always looking for a good one. This one is a short, but check this one out. See, I haven't been able to make the visualization for the Fringe Nexus Cafe is one of these floating in space, and then a highway from that place going through a desert, and then a diner on the side of the road of that highway that is the Fringe Nexus Cafe. But I haven't been able to get the AI slaves to draw the things that I want. Oh, here's some branding. That is loud, and I'm sorry that it's loud. Okay, I'm waiting for it. Hold on. I was in my cell alone. That's all the lyrics I got for it right now. Bonus today to the savings those that are to come is this ASMR for those of you so inclined. Move, mouse, move. Come here. I'll give you two more because we're generous here. We're generous here on the Grim Grizz stream. Remember, this is a reminder to stand up straight. Yeah? Well, you're welcome to say so. Okay, maybe no, you're getting it one more time. I'm relaxing into it. This is going to be one. It's the thing we're going through is 90 minutes. So even at double half speed, right? Double speed. Even at double speed, it's way longer than I usually do a session. So why even? All right. Hey, everybody. Here's the card thing. Hey, Hey. What? Ready? Ready? Not again. Hold on. We're going into space now. I kind of asked Two Morphs if he would make me one of these. By the way, I don't have the link on hand, but Two Morphs is messing around with live streaming. You should go subscribe to him because he's the only guy I know kind of personally who's becoming a priest. And that's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's Liddy. That's where I am. Oh, wait, with this part. This is where we're at. And, okay. Alright, now for savings throws, everybody. Remember, you get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart, upon which to base your savings throw against the mind control that's in the rest of this ridiculously long live stream. Chasing after Socrates. Or trolling after Socrates at chipmunk speed with your good friend, Grimgris. Choose! Survivalists with the... that's a 16. Socialists with an 11. Like, wasn't today all day? The day 11th day? And sophists, lovers of wisdom, you have 2 sevens worth of 14. Hard folks. 4 times 4 are the 4 chambers. 4, whatever. Math. All right, there's the savings source. Everybody's going to make it. I guess because I'm here with you. Okay, and that's still Liddy, isn't it? Oh, no. There's so many things you can click on when you're running one of these StreamYard things. But, yes, it's the vortex. Let's dive in. For sure. Is this a watch party? I'm very it's appropriate, Phoebus. It's appropriate. That's the approach. It is not with excitement. We are to approach the serious business of being after Socrates. It is with mindfulness and the pursuit of wisdom we go forward as we. Yes, and boo, how dare you bring down the mood, sir? How dare you? How dare you? Oh. Hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm doing it myself this time. Where's the brand thing? Way up here. Remember, everybody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Behold, Electrotechnic finally here, participating Heart, y'all. You missed the savings throw. Heart was good. Everybody made it. Trolling, here we go. I'm in. Well, if you're literally in and you want to come in, you can. I'm gonna let other trolls come in and troll this with me, but we have to make it through. And if 30 seconds is a long time. If we have to make it through, and you have to make it, we as a group have to make it through, and you have to make it through with us if you come on. But if you want to come on and troll with us, you can. And even Lefebvre can come on, but he's got to speak in like 3-sentence there's just got to be rules or something, bro. You can come on, Stumps. You've done that before, right? I am salvaging it. Salvaging, what am I salvaging? Does something need to be salvaged? Look, it's a hop fibrillation. Can I full screen that at all? Oh my goodness, where's your water, bro? Here's four. No, stop. Relax into it. Just chill, bro. Chill. Yeah. All right. My best? I don't have a best anything, Flebus. I don't have a best anything. That's my shtick. I'm in a dangerously safe grim space. Okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? We're going through the After Socrates thing, man. Okay, here. Let's walk through it as a group. Okay. First, way back this morning, this came out. It's a clip. I made it 7 minutes before deciding I need to do a real life, oh my god, commentary on it. This is the alignment, attitude, and orientation video on this channel. Everyone should watch. That's the music I was jamming to before the stream. This is okay. This thing. You might say. One might say, Grim, Mr. Grimgris, didn't John Vervaeke do you the favor of coming on your show after being somewhere else and talk, just a favor of coming on your fucking show, bro? And here you are trolling his new project? And to that, sirs and madams, I say to you, trolling that, if you want to complain about trolling John Vervaeke, perhaps this is where you should look. Look at this fucking suit. This fucking suit. Look at what that's okay. You want to complain about trolling? You go there first, and you come back to me. I'm going through his actual product over here. I'm going through his product. So here we go. I got this far by myself.
He has done, again, integral to making this series possible.
I got this far by myself. And he's still thanking people.
So this series has a kind of odd title, right? It's After Socrates. Why this title? What am I trying to convey about the series? How am I using the title to guide you? Obviously, many people have been after Socrates in just a temporal sense. I'm after Socrates in that sense. And that's rather trivial. That's not helpful.
OMG, it's a lizard girl in the live stream comments. That's I think that's a first for people those keeping track of the characters and stuff. Noted, right? Just noted.
I want to talk about the sense of being after Socrates, like when you're after someone. When a hunter is trying to catch its prey. In that sense, we're trying to track Socrates. We're trying to find the signs. That which is the most, listen to the word significant, significance. We're trying to find the signs.
Signs everywhere, signs.
And determine his significance. Levenberg has done work on how tracking within our human evolution is probably fundamental to our cognition. Think about what's happening in tracking. You're not directly aware of something. You're picking up these signs, these traces, and you're trying to put it together and see how it leads to something and takes you beyond where you currently are and of that of which you're currently aware. In that sense, we're going to be trying to track Socrates. We're going to be trying to leave our comfortable place we're in and see if we can move into something a little less familiar and more interesting for us. So I've seen a video, I mentioned it before, in Awakening from the Meaning Crisis.
Perhaps I flatter myself, but I think everybody comes here to experience something more interesting than, what he just said about what he's... Welcome. Get safe.
And of that of which you're currently aware. In that sense, we're going to be trying to track Socrates. We're going to be trying to leave our comfortable place we're in and see if we can move into something a little less familiar and more interesting for us.
Magic! Welcome.
The video, I mentioned it before in Awakening from the Meaning Crisis, of San. These are hunter-gatherers in Africa, the Kalahari. And they do persistence hunting where they constantly are tracking and running after. Think of this, right? Particular prey. And of course, they're doing all of this stuff that Lieberman talks about. Liebenberg talks about. They're picking up the signs, they're looking at the spoor of the animal, they're looking at the depth of the track, and so they're doing all this important inferential stuff, and we have to do a lot of important inferential stuff if we're going to track Socrates. But they also do something else. As they're running along, they're often making a gesture that's a sacred symbol for the particular animal they're tracking. So they're constantly reminding themselves that I'm tracking this kind of animal, not that kind of animal. And why that constant reminding? Because they're constantly moving between general tracking and this more specific following. That gesture, though, is
Do we not take from this as a group of lobster monkeys that we need a gesture? A gesture? We're going to need a gesture.
Connected to something else. It's a way of triggering more sophisticated behavior at certain junctures in the tracking. They'll come along and they lose the trail. And the person who's running and doing the gesturing will drop into enacting the animal, trying to take on the perspective of the animal, the way that the animal, what the animal cares about, what the animal finds significant, trying to take on the identity of the animal, and then create this, right?
Oh, no, no. Oh! You've triggered a segue, John. John. You've triggered a segue, sir. I don't know what to do. Welcome to the segue, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if the stream gets killed.
By the way, if anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself. Just a little thought. I'm just trying to plant seeds. Maybe one day they'll take root. I don't know. You try. You do what you can. Kill yourself. Seriously, though, if you are, do. No, really. There's no rationalization for what you do, and you are Satan's.
For those of you that keep track of this sort of thing, playing Bill Hicks has caused me to spill the mason jar of Walter. And the computer was on the floor.
Little helpers, okay? Kill yourself. Seriously. You're the ruiner of...
This used to bother me, honestly. This was, I was like, hey, Bill's the best. Whoa. That's a little far, but you know, being edgy was the gimmick, right? So,
of all things good. Seriously. No, this is not a joke. He's going to be a joke coming. There's no fucking joke coming. You are Satan's spawn, filling the world with bile and garbage. You are fucked, and you are fucking us. Kill yourself. It's the...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to did you even put it up, bro? No, but we have these fancy overlays here. We have these fancy After Socrates chipmunk overlays to work with. All right.
The only way to save your fucking soul. Kill yourself. Plant seeds.
Welcome to the Metanoia Marina, baby.
There's no joke here whatsoever. Suck a tailpipe, fucking hang yourself, borrow a gun from a yank friend.
All right, I feel bad for skipping ahead, but that's not my point. That wasn't my point.
I don't care how you do it. Rid the world of your evil. Separate them into the trapped dollar. Good night, honey. Oh, we made arsenic childhood food now. Good night. Yeah, we just said, is your baby really too loud? Yeah, the mums will love it. Yeah. Sleep like fucking children, don't you? This is your world, isn't it?
Okay. All right. Apparently, my ability to pull up the right clip on demand has failed us all. But remember, this is what a hop vibration, not fibrillation, a hop vibration looks like. All right. Sorry, John. Back to work.
Sense of, from that, that is the way the animal went. This is the imaginal part of tracking. What's the distinction I'm invoking here? It's a distinction from Corbin between the imaginary and the imaginal. Both use the imagination. The imaginary uses images and takes you away from perception. So, for example, if I ask you to imagine a sailboat, and I can ask you how it sails up, how many sails does it have? And you can answer. That's the imaginary. What's the imaginal? The imaginal is when a child picks up a stick, ties a blanket around them to their neck, and says, I'm Zorro. Not picturing anything. They're trying to take on the perspective and the identity of Zorro so that they can taste what it's like to be Zorro. What would Zorro do? How would I do this? And that's, of course, how children primarily develop, how they go through this self-transcendence. They do that serious play. When I'm teaching people Tai Chi Chuan, I tell them to stand and imagine from their knees.
I'm sorry. It appears I missed that HRV came in. HRV came in when I at the same time I was spilling the water. I bet. Bill Hicks and yes, the dialogues we needed but didn't deserve.
He's down is sinking in the mud of a river. This area is flowing like water. You want this area of you to feel like water flowing. And this is like the air. You want this to feel as airy as possible. And when people do this, what's happening is they're using this imagination in the imaginal sense to enhance their perception of the world. They're doing imaginally augmented perception, just like we have sort of virtually augmented perception when you play things like virtually augmented reality games, Pokemon Go, things like that. But for way before there was that technology, people were using their imagination in an imaginal fashion in order to track something better and also in order to augment their perception of reality. Of course, those two feed into each other and depend on each other.
All right. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Let's use the imagination to augment our perceptions. Okay. I'm gonna imagine that when I stick out my hand like this, all of you are like tiny little guys that can jump up and high five it. Okay, and then if you want to imagine that you're high fiving a giant hand, then maybe we'll have a shared imaginational. Should I give you savings throws versus that? Where did the dice go? Oh, here's the dice. Here you go. Savings throw versus imaginal play. Savings throw versus imaginal play. Choose survival, social wisdom, or heart. Welcome to the trolling After Socrates live stream with Grim Grace. Choose, I said. Survival. 10. Socialists. 14. Lovers of wisdom. Friday is the 13th, and heart, folks. I guess I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You got a 2 that was. A 2 that was. Electrotechnic with the wisdom, doing okay. Magic. You know. You want to see more? Yours looks different, Stump? You got a good hop vibration visualization? I told you, boy. I'm looking for them. Bring me your hop vibrations. Bring them. Oh, I'm doing a Reiki thing? All right, let's go. Why is there a Bill Hicks on marketing tab open?
each other. So in this imaginal sense, I'm going to be asking you to imagine Socrates.
You got to give everybody the hand. We're giving everybody the hand. We're giving everybody the hand, John. Okay, which hand? Not this one. Okay, this hand. We'll do like this with John. You guys ready? Here it comes. You remember, you can use your imaginal to jump up and high five the giant hand. Oh. Hey. Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, that was good for me. I hope you enjoyed.
Not as a model of Socrates, not as a picture. I want you to become as much as you can like Socrates. Carl Friston, really important thinker, has created one of the most important frameworks within cognitive science called predictive processing. Recently, with Mark Miller and Brett Anderson, I published a paper integrating my work on relevance realization with this work on predictive processing. I think this is powerful stuff. But Friston says something really interesting about the self, that entity that we constantly are sort of organized around and oriented from. He said the self doesn't have models of the environment ultimately. Of course, you have models of the environment. This is my bathroom, right? This is what it looks like when I go to the university. We have these maps. But the self is much more fundamental. The self is a model of the environment. It is a way of orienting to the environment so you can find your way in it in a way that develops who and what you are. So
well, here in Deadwood, we go through these hours of talking. These folks do. And every now and then they'll say one of them nuggets, and that's what you're looking for. That's the gold. And I think what I just saw, it might be fool's gold, but I think I caught a little bit of gold. So we'll slow the little chipmunk feller down and listen real close right here. Welcome everybody. This is the special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives to make all this possible. Let me tell you a story about my past. My past one time. Not now. We made our savings throws go away. This is the visualization of the Broken Clock Tower Discord. And the Metanoia Marina Tavern thing. Okay. Where? Oh, the nugget. Right. The nugget. Let's go down here.
what we're doing here in it, the self is a model of the environment. It is a way of orienting to the environment so you can find your way in it in a way that develops who and what you are. So,
What? So the self is a story I tell myself that helps me navigate amongst you, my relationship, my sea of relationships with y'all. With y'all!
what we're doing here is we're going to try and use these inferential strategies, looking at texts, making arguments, reflecting conceptually on things. Of course, we have to. This is Socrates, a master of argumentation. That's not all Socrates is. We're also going to do this imaginal, and these two are going to come together as we're tracking Socrates. We're going to try and...
I mean, effectively, that's what the last 10 minutes has been. Sorry, I'm responding to this comment, but electrodinik. That guy. He said, could we implement a 3-sentence Lefebvre stream rule for Viveki 2? Question mark. And that would mean us stopping the stream as often as I stop the lure on Fishing Planet. Like...
capture what it's like to be Socrates. And this, of course, we can take on his really provocative kind of self-knowledge. As we'll see, Socrates took for himself the slogan, know thyself, from the Delphic Oracle. I have it tattooed on my back. This kind of self...
Did that man just say he had a tattoo on his back?
Slogan, know thyself, from the Delphic Oracle. I have it tattooed on my back.
Ding!
This kind of self-knowledge was central, and we're going to find it's a radically different kind of self-knowledge. It's a kind of self-knowledge that, in some sense, problematizes the self. It's not your autobiography. It's not your autobiography. It's much more like your owner's manual. How you function, how you really function, how you function well, how do you break down and malfunction. That's what we're going to be. We're going to be internalizing Socrates. When we're done, I hope that yourself and Socrates will be deeply interwoven together in a way that helps you aspire to a life that is carried along by the love of wisdom.
Oh, I got the seed of a Socrates, and I want to put it in you. It'll weave with the story you tell yourself about yourself, 'cause the man had daemon. A daemon. In the pandemonium. In the pandemonium. In the pandemonium.
So this internalization of Socrates is also how it's connected to how we catch Socrates in a second sense. What do you mean we're trying to catch the prey? Well, there's another sense here, and it's also what I want to invoke with After Socrates.
Look, he just shows up as a J in the chat. But ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Lishka himself. This is a guy we call Stumps. He's been on the show. If you can find it, you win. Oh yeah, I've been alive but not present on the Discord, and I'm gonna do this clock tower town hall big shebang. Sort out what's going on over there, under there, in there. Soon. Stay tuned.
We're going to catch Socrates the way you catch something like the way you catch a virus. You're going to catch a virtual virus that's going to change the genetic code of yourself, and therefore how.
This is a disclaimer. Warning.
The world is exposed to that self. We're going to catch Socrates the way you catch something like the way you catch a virus. You're going to catch a virtual virus that's going to change the genetic code of yourself, and therefore how the world is disclosed to that self. You're going to see and be differently. Now this leads
Hey there, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet. I want to thank you for your time and your attention.
Speaking there of happenings in this little corner of the internet, I would be remiss if I did not mention that I had noticed that it seems as though our good friend, not this guy, not that one. Oh, it's where is it? Oh, there's us there. No, it was from today. Oh yeah, not the cult of. What's your next? See, he was doing the AI covers like me. Yeah, you're seeing that. You're seeing that. I'm scrolling through my history over here. There's a concern thing. I am concerned. I saw something concerning. Poking the bears. Yes, this is the one. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey,
Hey.
Christians is not as dangerous, I think, as poking some other people that he has poked. But it's still the wrong way to be, in that, like, I'm interested in peace on earth, and I'm interested in, a city which embodies and represents heaven on earth. And I don't think that Jacob's behavior is conducive for a city attempting to represent heaven on earth. Like, that's my take. So I think I just needed to formulate and communicate the tension I have with helping and associating with Jacob Facciarecci and the Facciarecci YouTube channel, is that he likes to poke bears, and you poke bears and they can follow you back to your home and endanger the people you know. So I don't think it's a good move, and I'm with Joey whenever he provided that feedback to Jacob months ago. So yeah,
I would feel remiss as a source of corner drama if I hadn't perpetuated that little nugget, and it was so weird that I play the Chad commercial and then he appears in the chat magically, saying "poking the bear," and apparently actual custom images sometimes show up as big blanks. I don't know. Magic gets one. Is that because they got the wrench? Hey, everybody. Here's some more. Here's some lofi. We're going through Vervaeke. Not this. This. We're going through this together. It's a large task. It's a large task. I think I've bit off for myself, but the man did me the honor of coming on my show, and so I'm giving his product my better than full attention by doing a watch party chipmunk speed with you, and that's why we're using these beautiful branding overlays generated by the AI slaves at Night Cafe. For the parts we like, we can use this chipmunk, and for the parts we don't like, we can use this chipmunk. Both were attempts. I think I did like the evolve from this one to this one, so this is the This is the child and this is the parent image drawn by the Satan AIs for this stream. Praise be to our AI overlords. Humanity's children, remember, Embody, I was one of the first you guys to call you humanity's children. And Gaius, you know. You're welcome, Chad. Oh, wait, no. Chad, your articulation and bravery to speak your mind is very needed and appreciated. Less than 3. God bless the woman that loves that man. God bless the woman that loves that man. Okay, this is long. We better get back to it. Welcome. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. This might be what I got executed or assassinated for tomorrow.
Leads to a third sense. How we're after Socrates. And it follows from this previous one, the previous twin. This is we're going to catch up with Socrates. There's a sense in which he's ahead of us, even though he's behind us in the past. What do I mean by that? This is a developmental sense. Socrates has, in many ways, gone further than us. There's an ancient adage, and it was often used in reference to Socrates, as the child is to the adult is the sage. You have developed more than a child. You have a kind of maturity. And I think John Rusin is right. Maturity has these two poles of it: improved self-knowledge and an improved capacity to face up to and deal with reality and all of its real challenges.
Good night, Chad. Good night.
We're going to try and develop the way Socrates did by following his way. We want to see how Socrates inspired people, afforded them to aspire to being better than they currently found themselves, in a way that has rumbled continuously through literally millennia. Now, what about this way of Socrates, this developmental pathway? Does Socrates have a method? Am I going to teach you a method? Oh, we live in the eon, the era of the method. So Descartes' discourse on method. Oh, we live in the eon, the era of the method.
Yeah, that last 10 seconds there, that's exactly why I give you guys saving throws.
Eon, the era of the method. So Descartes' discourse on method, the prototypical document. This is how you do it. This is the method. This is the algorithm. This is the sequence of instructions. This is how you do it. This is the recipe. And method is powerful. Being methodical is important when it's appropriate. I'm going to argue, and many people will be arguing with me in the sense of a long.
We don't need any more arguments, John. We need a way to love those in your that believe and act in ways we think are wrong in today's society.
Along with me, the convergence of many people proposing Socrates does not have a method. In fact, there's a sense in which he will constantly draw people in to assuming that there's a method for becoming wise, for having self-knowledge, for aspiring to the good, only to undermine it, only to sort of break it up from within. In this way, he's kind of like...
All right, I actually lost focus for a second there. Sorry.
Assuming Socrates does not have a method. In fact, there's a sense in which he will constantly draw people in to assuming that there's a method for becoming wise, for having self-knowledge, for aspiring to the good, only to undermine it, only to sort of break it up from within. In this way, he's kind of like, his questions are kind of like Zen koans, designed to break up what we normally take for granted, we can grasp in our questioning. Or they're like the parables of Jesus of Nazareth. Where there's what looks like a narrative. And we, I know how narrative works and how story works, and we take that on, and then the parable breaks the narrative up and makes you realize, oh wait, that narrative framing is not appropriate here. There's something more fundamental going on here. There's something more startling and surprising and demanding and challenging, but also for those very reasons, more satisfying and more profound.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't very clear. Probably won't be till episode 8. Oh.
Meaning. Instead, I want to propose to you the following. And I thought a long time about this, and I'm like, Socrates doesn't have a method. He has a spirituality centered on the love of wisdom. That's his way. And I'm trying to use that word, and I'm going to use 2 non-Socratic traditions, hopefully respectfully, to zero in. I'm using way in no way. It's used in Taoism, the Tao. The way that we've spoken of is not the way, where it means this path, but also, an orientation.
Whoa, hold up. I can't do a good hold up. I can't do a good hold up.
And fleeting. Socrates doesn't have a method. He has a spirituality centered on the love of wisdom. That's his way.
That's his way. Well, I mean, what do you mean by wisdom? Do you mean Sophia? Did Sophia have an abortion? Is the abortion this realm? Are you a Gnostic? What's going on? Like, is Sophia the embodiment of wisdom in the forbidden books that were destroyed after the collapse of the first Jewish temple? There's so much they don't tell us.
I'm trying to use that word, and I use 2 non-Socratic traditions, hopefully respectfully, to zero in. I'm using way in no way. It's used in Taoism, the Tao. The way that can be spoken of is not the way, where it means this path, but also, an orientation and.
Well, we have a claim from the Hive Mind chat from our good friend Ardlian. Ardlian, our good friend, says this wasn't his method to do what his daemon told him. So, probably. So let's hope our good friend Jean teaches us how to develop a recognition to make sure our daemon is our daemon and not our demon during this beautiful course after Socrates.
Cultivation and an identification and a movement of self-transcendence. But it isn't a method. If you think there's a method to Taoism, you have fundamentally misunderstood its spirituality. I'm also using this sense of Socrates having a way that's similar to how the early Christians were not called Christians, even in the Bible. And this is no insult to Christianity, because in the Bible, the earliest Christians are not called Christians, they're called followers of the way. It's often capitalized in translation to try and give you some sense that there's a special meaning here. They are followers of the way of Jesus of Nazareth. And he's somehow identified with that way, but it's a way they can follow. They can be disciples. Disciple means to follow. That's discipline means to follow in this sense. They are somehow.
Party foul. That was my first overuse of the chipmunk. Like the first 2 were spot on. That was gratuitous chipmunkery. Ladies and gentlemen, and members of the Shadow Cabal, I sincerely apologize for my gratuitous chipmunkery. Thank you for your time and attention. What Ardlian said. The word discipline comes from the Latin word discipulus, which means pupil or learner. Pupil is part of the eye, as noted by the oculist, which was mentioned in one of the recent live streams. Bonus +5 indigo saved to next live stream if you know which of the recent content I mentioned oculists in, for sake. Oh, loop it, baby.
We're going to become more and more.
I wasn't done with that.
Follow that discipline.
This word is derived from the prefix dis. This word is derived from the prefix dis. This word is derived from the prefix dis and the root caper, which means to take or to seize. To the prefix dis. Dis-seize. To disseize, to disseize the learner, pupil. In the original Latin, disciple is referred to as student or follower who is learning from a teacher or mentor. Oh, look at your disciples over there. What a dumbass, that guy.
Simply means to follow in this sense. They are somehow going to become more and more like him, and this is integral to following his way. Now, I fear I may have offended some people here, and that's not my intent. Am I putting Socrates into competition with Taoism or Christianity or Buddhism? No, that is not my intent at all. I am putting Socrates into conversation, deep conversation, and this exemplifies the Socratic spirit. I'm putting Socrates into conversation, deep dialogue with Taoism, Christianity, Buddhism, and along the way, cynicism, Stoicism, Neoplatonism. Notice what I just said, by the way, along the way. This word is so pregnant with so many dimensions beyond what we capture with the word method. The way. There is a way here. That is what I have found. And that is what many people have found, both existentially, as they try to live a Socratic life, and scholastically, as they have been reflecting on what was Socrates doing.
Awim away, awim away, awim away, awim away, awim away. If there's anybody here who was also here when we tried to use the Awim Away song to make the arch in St. Louis glow blue, you get bonus 7 indigo saves the rest of the month just for still being here. God bless you, whether you're Shadow Cabal, whether you pay anything or not. Let me know, I'll give you access.
So, Stephen Fowler has written the book, The Art of Spiritual Midwifery. Dialogos, and I like the way he spells dialogos. He actually capitalizes logos. Dialogos. Dialogos and dialectic in the classical tradition. Now, first of all, note the terms, dialogos and dialectic. Here's another book that uses both of these terms by Guro Hansen Helskog, I hope I pronounced that correctly, called Philosophizing the Dialogos Way Towards Wisdom in Education. Dialogos is here, and then within the book he talks.
And we got another failure here. Like, why can I not? Where's the bot? Shouldn't you have at least 5 of the books you reference should be in one of the pop-ups? And like, whenever, the ones in the corner, the ones over by the bubble that show up by the bubble, they say, oh, I. It's got a little I in that thing, a bubble. Where are those at for all the books you're holding up?
Talks about dialectic. So we've got dialectic, dialogos, and we also have this notion of being a midwife. What's going on here? Well, first of all, I want to make it clear. Paul is a Christian.
Okay, so I interrupt him every 5 seconds. I'm Paul Van der Klein now. The truth is, I don't imitate the people I mean to imitate people deeper than I do imitate them. So me actually doing this, being a Paul Van der Clay chipmunky, is closer to the imitation I would if I was at a reverent. Where were we, John?
Called
the book.
It's education. The logos is here, and then within the book he talks about dialectic. So we've got dialectic, dialogos, and we also have this notion of being a midwife. What's going on?
Oh, that was the trigger word. That was the trigger word. Midwifery. Midwifery triggered. Okay, the thing here is we took that away. That was one of the first things lost. Like the sciencey thing took away the midwifery. And that was a devastating blow to the wisdom of the shadow matriarchy. Because they used to be the arbiters of life and death, the womb and the tomb. These lady midwives. And that internet guys are supposed to turn into that After Socrates is a stretch.
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear. Paul is a Christian. In fact, he's an official chaplain, and he is a pastoral education supervisor. So this is not somebody who's just theorizing or doing philosophy. He's putting his Christianity into direct dialogical practice and dialectical practice with people. Okay, so what's he doing in that book? And how is that relevant to what I was just talking about? What he does is he is repeatedly comparing the way of Socrates and the way of Jesus of Nazareth. And he's explicitly not putting them into competition. He's putting them into deep dialogue with each other. He's really interested in comparing Socrates' self-description of being a midwife. Socrates compared himself to a midwife and that he helped people to give birth to themselves. He uses that metaphor. We'll have to be really careful about these precious gems where Socrates uses these metaphors to give us some understanding of how he understood.
That was the contribution which garnered Paul's support? The shadow matriarchy thing? I think so. Although it might have been the mice. Midwifery is the medical practice of assisting women in childbirth. A midwife is a trained professional who helps pregnant women throughout the birthing process, providing care before, during, and after birth delivery. In Plato's Theaetetus, Socrates famously compared himself to a midwife. He believed that his role was to help people give birth to their own ideas. He believed that knowledge and wisdom already existed within each individual, and that his job was to help them deliver it through a process of inquiry and dialogue. He saw himself as a facilitator of others' understanding rather than the provider of knowledge.
Stood and experienced himself and his practice, his way. The Father takes that, as Socrates says, I'm a midwife and I help people to give birth to themselves, and he compares it very fruitfully to, in the Gospel of John, when Jesus says to Nicodemus, I tell you, you must be born again. And then Nicodemus is all confused. And then Jesus is trying to say, no, I'm talking about being born again in the Spirit. This is a spiritual rebirth. No. Can we remember? It's hard, right? It's hard, but can we remember? Can we somehow go back? And maybe we can use Socrates to help us here. Maybe we can use Jesus to help us understand Socrates better. But can we go back to the radicalness of that? What does it mean? I mean, I hesitate to say this. What does it mean to be born again? But notice, step off what we usually focus on. We focus on the person being born again. But Father does this really cool thing. He says, no. Jesus is a midwife. He's offering to help people to become born again.
Oh, boy. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just tuned in, there's this thing called After Socrates. This guy who was on my channel has put out, and I'm trolling it by playing him at chipmunk speed, going through it. It's, there's no such thing as negative attention in our world of YouTubery, right? And we're at this point, which is 24 minutes and 51 seconds into it. Jesus is a midwife. And at this point, I need to take some, I don't know, perhaps I'm aging and decrepit, but I need to go pace outside under the moon and then stretch and such. And so I will provide you with my own thinky brainy content, which you all should have watched. I recommend you watched. And but to just to clarify, in case there was any confusion, that part where Bill Hicks was telling all the marketers to kill themselves, that's not the part I meant. It's like all the different dollars that they go after. That's part of that bit, but it was too hard to find on the fly, and I didn't prepare like a professional because Diogenesis, right? I mean, of the great philosophers, that's the closest I get. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the Hive Mind chat. And at least something was funny to Magic. God bless her. God bless that woman. And at least we still have the Shadow Duola. The Shadow Duola. We also have a Shadow Dollar. But let's not talk about that. Anyway, we've made it this far, and I have to play something for you instead because I'm getting out of the chair and I need to be here for the commentary. So here's my great presentation, alignment, attitude, and orientation, in case you missed it while I pace. Welcome to the Grim Grizz experience. It's an experience now, baby. Hey there, everyone. Remember, Ambali, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives that make all of this possible. No, hey. Um, I'm gonna offer for you what follows. What follows. The following offering is a lens, a perspective on existence that may or may not be beneficial for you. I'm going to provide you now savings throws against the mind control that it is. And if you get under a 10 with what you choose, so you choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your save. And if it's over 10, then you're only going to take half damage. And if it's under 10, then what follows could be very dangerous for you. Take it with good advisement. Survival, social, wisdom, heart. Choose! Survivalists with a 6. This is intense stuff. Socialists, 12. Wisdom, 14. Heart, 10. All right. So, alignment, attitude, and orientation. As follows. Oh, where am I? We'll hide over here for a minute. First, we have. I'm relaxing into it now. We have law. We have order. We'll have order over here. Order. Chaos. Now, and then we have. Okay, so that's like I don't know how to really describe order and chaos. It's like you have a deck of cards. If they're on the floor, it's chaos, and if they're in the deck, it's order. But you can lean toward one or the other. This in Dungeons and Dragons, order is law, and it is like because it contrasts to this new axis we're bringing in. Let's make it straight. Good and evil. That's too low. Evil. Come up here. Now, I was just thinking real hard about it, and good and evil work out to essentially efficiency, which isn't pretty, but it's like an attunement of your selfishness. Like if you're striving for a good that is too pointed inward toward yourself and not enough outward, it's an inefficient use of resources and therefore evil. Like taking pleasure at the expense of others is an overall detriment, so it's evil. And if you use law to do it, then you're lawful evil. Even though you're very ordered, you're also very evil. And if you do chaos to do good, you're chaotic good. See, that's as far as D&D ever got me, and that's the alignment portion of this presentation. But now let's mix things all up. Save it. Just save it. So that we have that access, but it's this, okay? And then we add this vertical dimension here, which is what we're going to be calling attitude. And it's really hard to get to attitude from here, but hold on tight, we'll get there. Attitude is we'll add sacred and profane. And profane down here. Profane. Profane is over here, and then Sacred is over there. So this one is like, all right. So I get the scene where like where some brute is taking over a place, and at the level he's operating, at the profane level, he's a man and she's a lady, and there's things, and like at the sacred level, where like I guess it's the imaginal glue that holds our reality together. Um, she's the queen of a nation, and it's a really big deal. It's that who she is matters, whereas at the profane level, it matters nothing. And like at the level you operate on this, your altitude on the sacred and profane axis, as you approach. What? Oh no, Magic! You dozed off. Should I chipmunk myself? Should I have chipmunked myself? All right. I'm sorry. We'll get back to the show. However, I did want to say, we've made the new Lefebvre, like 3-sentence rule a thing. It's gonna become a thing, and like even before that, right? I think the thing to do with what happens in the loom room is a separate channel called the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse. And I actually want to bring in Iron Root and Reptilian as consultants on like building that and the building and administration structure of that channel. You can clip this and send it to it as an invitation if you're one of their friends. If you're in the audience, they can come on, whatever. But I extend you that invitation. I think that's what we're going to do with what's in the loom room is a Lobster Monkey Lighthouse channel. You can help me build that. You say, was complaints nobody participates. I got participants, so show me you can help me manage them. And then, hey, it's skills proven, Lobster Monkeys. Yeah! Anyway, there's that. Let's get back to work. Not you, sir. Not you. Back to work. They come for this guy. They're here for this. Okay, they're here for this? Yeah.
Same thing? No. But we can understand more of what I'm trying to get at with this notion of a Socratic way of spirituality by comparing it to these other ways. We're going to spend some significant time in this deep dialogue between Socrates and Christianity. I'll talk about this more in detail towards the end of this episode, but what's going to happen is, at one point, it's not going to be a monologue. Christopher Massapietro.
Yeah, at some point, the hive mind talks back. They say beautiful things like, I doze off. You know what, Magic? For anybody who's always here, whenever I play an old clip, you can assume it's for new people who haven't seen it and go to the bathroom. Stretch outside. Like, that's what those clips are for. It's for me and everybody. Sorry I made you sleepy, Magic.
And I are going to be here. We're going to be here together, and we're going to dialogue. We're going to exemplify Socrates. We're not just going to talk about dialogue. We're going to actually exemplify it for you, but not just randomly. We're going to do this. We're going to talk about the profound relationship between Socrates and one of the founders of existentialism and profound thinkers within Christianity, Soren Kierkegaard.
Whoa. Okay. Before we get into Kierkegaard, I need to make an attempted recap for anybody who's just joining us. We're doing a chipmunk trolling walkthrough of John Vervaeke's first episode of After Socrates in honor of him being cool enough to come on my show. This is what you do? I go on your show and this is what you do to me? Oh, yes, John. And if I wanted to, episode is an hour and 25 minutes long. We are 26 minutes in, and to sum up for those of you just joining in, the last 26 minutes is that Socrates lived a way that the hive mind says was following his daemon, and it's gonna. There's a lot of references of why, and then there's like but it's okay because basically Jesus did too. So it's like where Jesus listened to the Father, Creator, Socrates has this daemon that I guess John's not mentioning, but the hive mind knows about. And they both were following a way, and it's similar, so that makes it okay. And he's going to show us in the Dialogos practice. Basically, I don't know if anybody gave you the rundown. And to the extent this is historically inaccurate, please let me know, because, like, nobody's ever talked to me successfully into reading any Plato, but they've come close. And Socrates didn't bother to write anything himself down because he was boss. So he had his boy Plato do it, and he got famous too. But the Socrates guy himself, he like would jump people in conversations, make them look like an ass, and then like culturally that gave him status, and it became a thing, and that's the dialogue to Dialogos that's about to happen. Maybe that's sort of right. Here's some Kierkegaard.
He's a follower of Jesus. He's a Christian. But Socrates was his teacher. And how does that work? And what can we gain? How can we use each to look more deeply into the other? That's going to be the defining feature of Dialogos. We're not going to try and get Socrates and Jesus or Socrates and Kierkegaard to agree. No. In Dialogos, what happens is both people move. They emerge. They give birth to themselves. They have insight and transformation. They both get to a place they couldn't get to on their own. How did I get here? Except by this dialogue.
How does it go? Letting the days go by. I wanted to be thankful for you guys. You are making me personally, especially in this particular instance, very virtually not alone. I couldn't make it through without you. Thank you for joining me in this trolling chipmunk version of After Socrates. It is so unfortunate that the chipmunks and your chats are so far apart.
Let's go back to the title because I'm still not done with it. After Socrates. What has come after Socrates? What has been inspired? In spiritus, spirituality, what has been inspired by him? What has afforded people to aspire because of him? How does this path of people inspired to aspire because of Socrates, how does that reflect back on him? How does it help us to understand him? Again, not just inferentially, but also imaginally. How does it help? We're going to enter into reciprocal reinterpretation. Reciprocal reinterpretation. What does that mean? On the one hand, we have historical interpretation. But on the other, we have existential inspiration. And those aren't the same. Those aren't the same. One is trying to get at what's the historical fact about Socrates. The other is, how is Socrates living within me such that I am becoming a better self? So we have these two. And why do I call it reciprocal reinterpretation? Because they influence and change each other. As we know more about Socrates sort of historically, that changes how.
Whoa. So somewhere, why do I call it means he just said what it was? Hold on.
Becoming a better Socrates living within me such that I am becoming a better self. So we have these two. And why do I call it reciprocal reinterpretation? Because they...
To the extent this is boring part, I'm sorry. I have to reattach to what's going on here.
That I am becoming a better self. What does that mean? On the one hand, we have historical interpretation. But on the other, we have existential inspiration. And those aren't the same. Those aren't the same. One is trying to get at what's the historical fact about Socrates. The other is, how is Socrates living within me such that I am becoming a better self. So we have these two, and why do I call it reciprocal reinterpretation? Because they influence and change each other. As we know more about Socrates sort of historically, that changes how he existentially inspires people, but also as people are existentially inspired by Socrates, and we'll see whole traditions around this, like Stoicism, that reflects back on the historical interpretation. And you might say, oh, this is going to be messy. And it's like in one sense you're right, but in another sense,
All right. So the Socrates fella, and okay, the study of the Socrates fella is this, what are them, shining towers against the darkness or whatever, and it made out all these resonators, like the ingression fields, where there's 8 resonators, right? There's all these different resonation interpretations. And as they existed, the shining light that was the study of Socrates, the shining light of that reflected off of these resonating practices, these cults that formed around his behaviors. And I think that's what he's talking about here.
you need to step back right from the very beginning. And what do I mean by that? I mean with Plato, Socrates' greatest disciple, the person who wrote the dialogues and given us the most information about Socrates. Right from the beginning with Plato, it's impossible to pull apart the historical facts and the existential interpretation, because in Plato they are reciprocally opening to each other, reciprocally constraining and affording each other.
Is that tomfoolery there, here, V? Is that tomfoolery when you say it's all clear? Or was I actually useful in some extent?
You can't really separate these two poles. We can emphasize, we'll talk more about this, the historical, we can talk more about the existential. But in the end, you can't really pull them apart. Ultimately, I am not going to try to do so. I'm not going to try to do so. I think it's a quixotic project. I'm not saying people should not do historical analysis. I'm not saying that. But insofar as we're after Socrates, we should take seriously
Remember, everybody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Did you know for all the fans and followers and reapers Grimgris has gathered, not a single one has brought in the clips of the people that come on the show and do that line? No. What an easy way into his heart and access to inner working, but none of them.
what Plato ends up saying. In his 7th letter, which is by most people now regarded as authentic, Plato says he has made Socrates more beautiful in his work, in his writings. What? Because he goes on.
All right, guys. I know I'm writing about this dude Socrates, right? He's you and I know he's a real. So I've made him more beautiful in this writing.
Goes on about how beautiful Socrates is. Not physically. Socrates was physically ugly, but this other kind of beauty, and we'll come to that. But what does Plato mean? What is he saying? What Plato's saying is he's not being totally faithful to the historical facts, but for good reason, because he wants to be even more faithful to the spirit of Socrates.
Your love is lifting me higher. What the hell does Socrates mean? And like, if you say raw and you mean anything other than the raw contact or the raw material, I'm confused because that's my only association anymore. We can make anything more beautiful in the writing if we want to.
This is the same for me. I will enter into this reciprocal reinterpretation. Another word that's good here is the Latin word inventio, which means both to discover and to create.
You seem really proud of that, right? Wait a minute, am I also entering into the reciprocal reinterpretation? Am I now part of the Socratical histories?
I will both be discovering Socrates and, in a sense, creating myself in the image of Socrates.
Sorry, John, I gotta read those parts.
In a sense, creating myself.
In Latin, the word inventio means discovery or finding. It is related to the verb invenire, which means to come upon, find out, invent, discover, or devise. Inventio is a powerful term because it can refer to an act of invention as both creation and recollection. This makes it very apt for describing Socratic midwifery. Very, very apt indeed. It's interesting. I don't know how familiar Professor Viveki was with my work when he came up with this inventio term. But like remembering and things that whatever, bro. Whatever.
In the image of Socrates. I'm going to do this for 3 reasons. First, this entering into the reciprocal reconstruction, the reciprocal reinterpretation, really captures the 3 previous senses that we've gone through here about being active.
I forgot to make a chipmunk speed. He did lose me at that one point, though.
After Socrates. It can't really be after Socrates in the way we've been talking about if you don't enter into the reciprocal reinterpretation. Secondly, much more than the facts, Socratic spirituality is needed in our times. In fact, the need is so pronounced in both senses of the word, like pronouncing a word as something is pronounced, projecting outward. In the emergence of all of these communities that are so Socratic, not in that they're trying to capture the historical facts about Socrates, they are definitely following the way of Socratic spirituality. The whole movement around authentic dialogue, circling, authentic relating, empathy circling, even things outside the Socratic tradition, like Buddhist insight dialogue, on and on. And we'll talk about these. These are all attempts to get at what Socrates was doing with his practice and the way that he was affording for people. Third,
his love kept lifting us higher. The way he made us think like we never thought before. By the way, if you're one of the people who contributes to the Buy Me a Coffee in the description there, you're allowed to tell me stop singing for the rest of the stream. No one else in the Shadow Cabal but the Buy Me a Coffee people have that privilege, but I have to know, just sing more, sing less. I'm stopping you I don't check it. I don't get notifications. I'm terrible.
As I've already said, this entering into the reciprocal reinterpretation. This is how I aspire to live my life. I mean, I'm not offering an argument by authority. John Vervaeke does this, and therefore you should. That's ridiculous. That's crap. What am I offering? What I'm offering is, because I actually aspire to live this way, I can also explore this way from the inside. And that's the way I need to most present it to you if it's going to become.
Thank you, Eric L. Mullins, for joining the Hive Mind chat and our participatory practice and way of knowing, and enjoying and recommending, or at least laughing at and then recommending me to continue that.
Relevant to you, such that you will consider internalizing Socrates and taking up his way. So what will we do then?
Anybody can tell me to keep doing it, you know. Did we miss anything, John?
What am I offering? What I'm offering is, because I actually aspire to live this way, I can also explore this way from the inside. And that's the way I need to most present it to you if it's going to become relevant to you, such that you will consider internalizing Socrates and taking up his way.
Damn straight, you better walk the walk if you want us to believe your talky talk.
So what will we be doing then? We will be asking how people in the past participated in the constant renewal and revisioning of the Socratic way, and how people are doing this right now. Deep connection between the participation in the past and the creation.
Oh, wait a minute. So like, hey, y'all, this is why it's valuable. Here's some people offering it as a service you can pay dollars for. Well, John, I wish I knew that's what you had going on, because I can do some hot dialogos on the down low too.
In the present. This means that in addition to a lecture, like I've just given, every episode will do recommended points for you to reflect on, not because I'm making an argument, because they can help scaffold you into the Socratic path. Even more so, I will, each episode, take you on a pedagogical program. I'm going to teach you an ecology of practices built step by step, episode by episode.
Step by step. And I need something for step by step, and I don't have anything for step by step because... So instead we feed the ducks. We feed the ducks now. Was it coming on my headphone? Oh yeah, because you thought people were coming on. Right. When you troll alone. When you troll! Don't roll over your mic. Or headphones. You troll alone. But not alone. Virtually not. Virtually not alone. Thanks, everybody. Stumps. Late night infomotion speed reading guy. You're like,
So just as I'm building.
We've made it past minute 33, and as who I am, we're gonna have to late night virtually not alone. You know, Chad, if you want the bubble, you're welcome to you're welcome to be. You make me feel virtually not alone, and like I know a beholder who watches things I don't. Where was I? Oh yeah, he went to bed.
An argument.
Oh no, yeah, we got to do 33 real quick. Hold on.
Projecting outward. In the emergence of all of these communities that are so Socratic, not in that they're trying to capture the historical facts about Socrates, but they are definitely following the way of Socratic spirituality. The whole movement around authentic dialogue, circling, authentic relating, empathy circling, even things outside of the Socratic tradition, like Buddhist insight dialogue, on and on. And we'll talk about these. These are all attempts to get at what Socrates was doing with his practice and the way that he was affording for people. Third, as I've already said,
I just want to say that if you have any doubt about the ability of the hive mind chant to influence the course of any live stream, even one so topically focused as making it through, saying something that's like, I'm in a bubble, can result in me making a new overlay I have to stop the show over. Because, thank you, Slack. Thank you, Slack. Look at your power. Look at your power and influence. I failed my savings throw versus Socrates' random comment. Ah!
This entering into the reciprocal reinterpretation. This is how I aspire.
That was minute 33, and if you noticed, that was minute 33, and if you noticed, he mentioned that basically he was going to be selling those other guys. If you were listening for it, I think. The prisoner, exclamation point. See, Weeks's references are so far from left field, I can't catch them, and therefore aren't as influential. It's like, I don't know, I don't have to roll as high as savings throw. Oh, nope. Sorry, Weeks. maybe a different me. So we're actually at minute 36 at least, right? All right, let's go back to 36:42.
To live my life. I'm not offering an argument by authority. John Vervaeke does this, and therefore you should. That's ridiculous. That's crap. What am I offering? What I'm offering is, because I actually aspire to live this way, I can also explore this way from the inside. And that's the way I need to most present it to you if it's going to become relevant to you, such that you will consider internal.
Is this like, all right, sorry, but this does say trolling, right? On the, dude, it's worth it, sir. Grim. Yeah. Happy New Year. Thank you. Here's some dance pop, mother. All right, stop for a minute. The responsible thing to have done a long time ago was to add as an overlay the SD default thumbnail for the show. So when you say what the show is during the show, you can show the thumbnail for the show. Trolling After Socrates, the virtually not alone experience with Grim Chris. Hi everybody, I'm Grim Chris, and we're this nice man came on my show, and he's come out with a YouTube thing, and I'm going through it honestly from I made a Diogenesis reference he'll catch in the title of this, but I'm going through it, John, and we're gonna make it. I did too, Hattie. I hope everybody else does. It was a live stream, and I thought about making a trivial cut so I could save as new, and then like people who just do the videos would get the notification. But I don't have the assistant or the capacity to LARP my own assistant at the moment. So it's still under live streams. My recent talk with the young Levite. I don't know. He seemed like a man to me, a mature man with responsibilities and stuff I've never faced. But a lot of people enjoyed it. I believe. Yeah. 60s is before my time weeks. You probably suffered similar abuse, but a generation later. All right, everybody. Sorry, I take breaks. Let me make some amends real quick, and then we'll get back. Hey, it's recommending me in the thumbnail, guys. Look. Why does it not say share this tab? Oh, you're not sharing because you stopped. Yo. See how easy it would be for a competent person? Part of what I do is demonstrate how easy it would be for a competent person. So, because some people get intimidated. Oh, I can't go on YouTube. It'd be too hard. He does it. Look at him. You can do. I mean, if you won't, make sure you know you do it for the right reasons, though, you know. That's, well, or not. Apparently you get to choose here. Look, it's showing me. It shows two of me to me. Oh, don't forget to recommend my Fringe Encounter, Grimgris and Nakama. It's been cut in half at her request because the second half is better to look at. And so it's two-parter. The first part is Grimgris and Nakama, and the second part is Nakama and Grimgris. However, like if you want actual content story-wise, it's probably the opposite way, but whatever. I enjoyed. I think they're both great. They should have been edited, but again, you get what you get around here. Thank you, but for what everybody does get, special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives. What are the right reasons? The right reasons to do a YouTube channel? Whoa, that's a big question, boy. That is one of them big questions there. Where's the chipmunk? The right reasons to do a YouTube channel. Thank you, Stumps. You see why it's called Stumps? Like his name, man, watch the names. That's why, like, if like right now I'm sitting in the position of like, is Sealbinder actually gonna release that? Because whoa, dude. Yeah, we'll see. But like I'm in that, is it even gonna come out phase of my life, right? And like his name is Sealbinder. This guy is Stumps, and he stumps me with like, what are the right reasons to do a YouTube channel? Though I don't, and I confess and shamefully, I shut off the background music to confess that I do not often enough reference my holy quest, Paintball for Jesus, which is getting churches to sponsor 6-person paintball teams so that the poor kids have to go to church, but they get to play free paintball to bring young people into the church and have people who love Jesus more combat trained more embodied than our youth otherwise would be because they're enslaved to the devices of set. So, yes, the Paintball for Jesus, Holy Quest, don't remind me. I don't need reminding, it's my holy quest. But also I'm a spot on the corner, and that's more what's going on today as we make our way through After Socrates, which yes, Stumps, I'm completely avoiding the question, but wow. That Fringe Encounter features vital intel on the background. Oh man, I've been spilling beans right and left. Because like, hey, people care at all? Whoa, have I got some things to tell you? Like, and she didn't even ask me the right questions. I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Yes, we do accept several. There's been I don't honor the drummer boy contributions properly, and that's all changing. I'm metamorphizing from the last 5 weeks I was absentish is there's a new me, da, 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 behold the transformation. It's a work in progress.
Analyzing Socrates and taking up his way. So what will we be doing then? We will be asking how people in the past participated in the constant renewal and revisioning of the Socratic way, and how people are doing this right now. Deep connection between the participation in the past and the creation in the present. This means that in addition to a lecture, like I've just given, every episode will do recommended points for you to reflect on, not because I'm making an argument, because it can help scaffold you into the Socratic path. Even more so, I will, each episode, take you on a pedagogical program. I'm going to teach you an ecology of practices built step by step, episode by episode. So just as I'm building an argument, lecture by lecture, I'm going to be giving you a tutorial, episode by episode, so you can build an ecology of practices to enter into the stream, if you wish, of those who are following Socrates. Before we do that, before we move to points and practices, I want to make a few final points within the lecture.
Well, I'm afraid, John, before we can even get that far, because it's my stream, don't you know? We have to take a stop over our good friend Miriam and see what this word pedagogy means. Because we've been to horrible places that are
Pedagogy. 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 Pedagogy.
The art or science or profession or of teaching. Okay, that's...
Luscious.
Thank you. Okay, somebody who can interpret that better than me for a change. I'm usually better. He's written a Socratic Bible. That sometimes the big words throw me off. You know, I seem like a person who catches most of the big words, and I think I catch most of the big words, but there's certain words that really get me, and no matter how many times I've been told and grasped at the definition, I just can't hold on to them. And this pedagogy is one, and what's it? You'll notice when the other ones happen. I'm sorry, it's a thing. Share this tab instead.
The question that's probably coming to mind for most people is, how does this series relate to Awakening from the Meaning Crisis? You talked about Socrates and
Whoa! Whoa, sir. How did no one on your team catch? I mean, somebody made that slide, right? Like, you think that's what you're known for? It's great, and like the song Pet Cow made is one of the best things probably in it. But nobody else has brought me any clips better than the one we made Pet Cow's song with, bro. And like most people, no, that's... You need to reassess, make companion explainer, have Lefebvre make companion explainer videos or something. That's... Woo! Woo!
already, what are you doing now? You've had a lot about wisdom. What are you doing now? Awakening from the Meaning Crisis was extensive, very broad scope, and very expository, which to teach to you. After Socrates will be much more intensive. We'll be covering quite a bit of time, but I'm not trying to do the big picture. Right? I'm not trying to give you the worldview, although we'll get to people who do that. I'm trying to help you follow a pathway. It'll be intensive. And instead of being expository, a lot of time it will be exploratory, trying to figure out together with you. I'm not Socrates. I mean, that sounds like such a trivial thing to say, but trying to hear that like deeply. I'm trying to learn as much as you are.
I'm not Socrates. I'm trying to learn like you. I just decided to let him inspire me and climb into my genetic thought and creep around like he was just my little daemon boy. Little daemon boy.
Kind of lying as I was working on this series because I kept reading more and more. Look at all the books I brought here: Socrates and Dialectic and Dialogos. And I've been doing all these practices. I'm going to share them with you. I've been doing all this participant observation and circling, and I've done some authentic relating and some empathy dialogue and Buddhist insight. And I really have to thank Peter Lindbergh for all the help he's.
I mean, yes, I reconcile. No, sorry. I reconcile that I'm doing it at high speed. Participant observation circling. Authentic relating empathy dialogue with Buddhist insight. Let's see if we can walk through a layman. I am a layman, I think, right? A layman's participant observation. All right. Read the fucking... You know what? I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, but I'm not yet. Read the fucking room. Participant observation. You are a contextual being. If you want to know how to behave socially, read the context of the room, the social context. Circling. Hey, when things get shitty, we all come together. Sometimes it's in wagons. Let's sit together, circle around a fireplace, a map, or something, and work this shit out. Authentic relating. Quit fucking lying. We don't got time for that shit. Empathy dialogue. Oh, God. You know what? Sure. If you need to squeeze out your feelings all over the table before we can move on and progress and do this thing we need to do, squeeze them out, get them out. We're all here in this circle. Do it. You get to be the cookie if you... All right. If you squeeze out all your feelings, you have to be the cookie. If you don't do any feeling squeezing, you never have to be the cookie. The Buddhist insight is, you're lucky to be incarnated. In your I like how he suggests aesthetically staged books on the set are the actual referenced works. Suggestion. I need a clip. Make a clip of it. That accusation. Let us intellectualize empathy and insight. Dude, if we can sell the intellectuals the capacity to care about anybody else, then we counteract Set's programming of self-individuation and atomization. So it's good, solid work. He's like, hey, all these smart folks that like big words? I can sell them on a way to be empathetic. I just got to tell them it's Socrates.
Circling, and I've done some authentic relating and some empathy dialogue and Buddhist insight. And I really have to thank Peter Lindbergh for all the help he's provided in connecting me to these practices. And more. Doing participant experiment.
Who is Peter Lindbergh?
With the
Wait, no. Wait, no. Who is this guy? A writer and online community and event organizer in Toronto, Canada. He was convening in-person events in Toronto, exploring how to awaken and live stoic virtues. You know, thanks for being here. It's not often, I think. I don't correct me if I'm wrong. That is correct. Stoa. Stoat. Do you know what a stoat is? You know, honestly, sincere request to any of the Stoa people. If you still have a clip of the Dark Stoa stuff where they're talking about the blackmail and WTF, I think it's gone. I can't find it. If you still have it, bring it to me by any means. You know, you're an adult. You can find a way to talk to me. Bring me that clip, please. I don't have money, but I can give you an Indigo savings throw bonus for the next live stream there. Thanks, Magic. Everybody, thank Magic for making everybody feel welcome. She's got the original Lobster Monkey hoodie. There's a video of that somewhere if you're looking. Oh, I think of her and my eyes get all... Shut up, just play this. Yeah, all right. Stoa! Oh, no, the Stoa interruption. I'm sorry, again. I'm not sorry, it's my channel. Thanks for being here, everybody. And your support. Special thanks to Shadow Cabal. Marcus Aurelius, bro. Where's the, Marcus Aurelius is my boss YouTube channel guy? Because, if I was going to do anything that wasn't what I'm doing and or the thing I avoid doing, like the plague, because I'm scared it won't work, I would go the Marcus Aurelius route. And, who do I follow that's doing that even? Because isn't he the best? Have I misunderstood him? I know all the quotes that come out of Aurelius are both. So, what's up with him? He's like a mystery like Pythagoras to me.
need to these practices, and more. Doing participant experimentation with Guy and Chris, trying to build a workshop for people so they can really taste this and sense its transformative momentum. Doing all that, and then this is what happened to me. There's still so much more. There's so many more books. There's so many more practices. There's so many more ways we can try and put this together. I got into a bind. How could I possibly? Because you can't just speak about Socrates. You have to exemplify Socrates. We somehow have to try and make Socrates be here. We have to figure out how to be Socrates to each other. If this is going to mean anything, if it's going to make any difference. Then I remembered my supervisor, Jack Stevenson, when I was working on my PhD, and I got into a bind.
All right, where are we at, Graham? Well, sir, we're 40 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay. We're going to need you, sir, to do at least one of the 8 things you've thought about doing. Okay. Well, that involves this. We have to make amends to our priest of Carlinism. I'm a recovering Carlinist. And as such, there's a priest. I consider Bill Hicks a priest. I consider the joke grenade guy, you know, the other fella a priest. Anyway, here's to wash out our previous sin early on the stream and playing the wrong bit. And God bless us, everyone.
Invested in this ride. Like a ride.
Wait, not yet. Now. Wait, not yet. Now. Wait, not yet.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because This is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear, once you put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love, instead, see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. We always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that?
All right. So there, I feel as though I've amends for my previous stream sin against our good man Hicks there. We will get to the last 45 minutes and 40 seconds of our trolling of the.
He said stuff like this. He'd say, "You're already way more of an expert in what you're writing about than I am. That's not my job." I'm wondering, okay, well then, and then he grabs me by the shoulder and he almost shakes me and he says, "John, your thesis is not your masterpiece. Stop trying to make it your masterpiece. You will only maybe do that at the end of your career." And that was immensely liberating. I went on to write the naturalistic imperative in cognitive science and start the beginning of the development of the theory of relevance realization. And I'm still working that out now. He was so wise. He was so prescient.
Yeah, we're making our way through that, ladies and gentlemen. Here, this is trolling after Socrates with Grimgriz. And I did it once, but I feel as though I need to lean into it. And I'll do it on our good friend, the Friday Morning Nameless's channel. And since he's the only channel in the Virtually Not Alone network that sent the commercial, which, you know, here it is again. There it is again. Because he's like our sponsor, right? Right. All right. Sponsored by. I'm not in AA and he's not my sponsor.
Hey there, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet. I want to thank you for your time and your attention.
Now, in his recent, sorry, I'm not actually Canadian, but I lived real close in Michigan for a while. Do your research. On his recent,
you know, Christianity has offered human beings the most successful.
I think so too. I mean,
I saw this.
there's lots of people who won't like that, but I think the notion of the logos that it's, you know, especially as you see it coming through the Neoplatonic tradition and taken up into dialogos and to dialectic. I think that deeply converges. The Christian model is ultimately a model of that, and this is, you know, and I'm not going to try and do anything, but the paradox of the unity Trinity is an attempt to somehow say there's something inherently dialogical, I would argue, about how we.
Look at this. Look at this informational. Look at this informational digestion food chain. But no, this part, man, this part, bro. Go back, right here. This shit, you know. I see this shit. You know, you see it? You see that? So, if you think it's rude of me to be trolling after Socrates, my response is, it's rude to troll him? You think it's rude to troll John? Is it me you should take issue with then, sir? I've not yet hit 1,000 subs. I'm just being I'm going through his work, cause you know, he came on the show, and I thought it was nice to do. I'm just. Is Peterson possibly intimidated by Vervaeke, so he wears extremely loud suit? You know, yes, absolutely zero. But well, no, dude, because he's embodying Socrates, and Socrates would totally face off with Diogenes until the end of time, because he should be my dialogically superior person and could argue. I mean, talk me. He should be able to wrestle me intimately with big fancy words into submission, and demonstrating such in, like, he's responding to the Lutheran complainer. You know, don't underestimate him, really, and do not underestimate VVK. That's the other thing. Thank you. Here's a special thank you to Free William for being in the Hive Mind chat and making the following thing possible. Here's the Pajot Nemesis clip I can mention all the time.
Comics is something that I've been kind of diving into.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
we're working on a comic
awesome.
now. I mean, I'm not the artist. It's someone else. But I wrote it with my brother, and so yeah, I'm excited to see. I think the potential of comics is really great for someone who's interested in symbolism, you know. And it's been taken by the dark side, I would say. You know, you've got people like Alan Moore, who's just has such an amazing grasp on symbolic laying out of symbolic structures within a page, and so it's like I just see him as my nemesis or something. Like we need to take that back, you know.
That's what you're shooting for. Nice.
Got to shoot high because he's really good. He's really good at doing that.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, I found it in the 30 seconds it took me to find the Nemesis clip, and I found how you can find it if you're interested. Here on the YouTube Grimgrave's channel here, there's this section called Vervaeke Troll Crush, which I presume someone told it he existed. Told what he was aware it existed before we talked. Anyway, here's.
Joe, like old time, you sing a song for Mama.
Oh, no, Mom, not in front of all these people. Joe, you sing it for Mama.
In Napoli, where love. Holy smokes there, that's Eamon Burke. He's supposed to talk to me on Friday at the I don't know, there was a time slot. It's in my Discord. I'll remember on Friday. It's not Friday yet.
Love is king when boy meets girl. Here's what they sing.
Agape. And you say, but there's no objective value to meaning making. Of course there isn't.
You know, if by some metric I am convinced that doing this particular live stream was at all worthwhile, like what the ensuing playlist could well be called "Get Thee Behind Me, Socrates." Thank you, Aim. Welcome to the Hive Mind, sir.
But it's not subjective or arbitrary. It is transjective. And it is, in that sense, transcendental, in a Kantian sense. It is what I'm involved with are the very conditions.
You trolling, right? That's you trolling, right, really?
On the possibility of meaning making itself. So to agapically love people, of course, is not just to be directed at that body and mind, it's to be directed at their conditions, their community, their environment, their development, their education. That's agape.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's agape. When the world seems to shine like a...
You know, I don't know. Even then, it was so worth it. It was so worth it. My favorite systems thinker. I don't know. I missed it. Oh, Schmuck. Dude. Dude, is he's your favorite? Eric. Okay, I'll tell you what, sir. I need... He did a 4-parter with, I guess it was either the Stoa or the other fellas, right? But it was like it was a 4-parter during a month, right? I need a solid reaping of the good nuggets from that thing, because like I got through the first 1.5 and I knew there was stuff there, but I have a sensitive palate. A sensitive palate.
You had too much wine.
Their development, their education. That's agape. That exists independently of me, of you, of us, of a group, because agape precedes, permeates, and follows us.
Amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella. Bravo, Joe!
You know, science has great pretensions about itself. I mean, it basically regards itself as a meta-theory.
See, all right, one more rant and I'll get back to Awakening from Socrates. Okay, this is Watts. No, wait, this is McKenna. And these people call themselves Christians trying to make estuaries with all their denominations. And these John Vervakes and people, if they want to come on the YouTubes, they have to face the fact that, like, waiting for alongside Jordan Peterson's clipology from the Awakening from Toronto series, from his classroom lectures, the clipology from that, also, like, the economy that was pre-existing for that exists. He wasn't that revolutionary. But anyway, that's Watts and McKenna. And so if that's estuary salt you're going to have to deal with from and anyway, here's some Watts thing, and I need to stop and get back to it.
It regards itself as capable of passing judgment on all other theories. They are supposed to submit themselves to science to be told whether they're real or not.
I sort of give Descartes a short shrift in my own writing historically. He's a brilliant person and gives where I knew he did was that, but his work on the mind and consciousness was really rich.
René Descartes was a 19-year-old ne'er-do-well, and he decided that he would go wenching and soldiering across Europe. This army made camp near the little town of Ulm in southern Germany. Worth noting. But that night, Descartes, in the barracks, had a dream, and an angel appeared to him, and the angel said, "The conquest of nature is to be achieved through number and measurement."
No longer was the world laid out as constituted by the non-contingent revealed truth of a God. Descartes was to carry out Christianity's will to truth, reaching its inevitable destiny to question the divine source of this truth.
One of the things I find about Descartes that's interesting is there's a sense in which he is responding to the spiritual crisis being caused by the emergence of the scientific revolution, trying to get people, he's trying to give people an existential response to the way their world was being torn asunder by the scientific revolution. And unfortunately, that existential aspect of Descartes' work has also tended to be not properly remembered.
Our development have always been created at the promptings of invisible voices. Socrates had a demon, Deamon. It was a little voice. It was his crap detector. It told him the difference between profound philosophical thinking and bullpucky.
It's looping. It's looping. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm not at all sorry. I hope you. Hi, I'm Grim Grizz. I think maybe there's something going on in the kitchen I need to deal with. So here's some Reiki at regular speed. I hope I don't miss anything.
That's what I'm doing here. This is not going to be my final work on the Socratic way. It is not going to be a masterpiece. Instead, together, we are going to try to construct a portal and a platform into and onto the Socratic way. That's what this is about. And that's what I'm going to try my best to do with you and for you. I had to make a choice, and I thought about this a long time and talked to people about it. Should I assume that people have not seen Awakening from the Meaning Crisis? Or should I assume they have? Each one is problematic. I chose the second. I chose to assume that they did. Hopefully not out of egocentric arrogance, but for the good reasons that I can't possibly review the whole argument from Awakening from the Meaning Crisis. I can't do it. And the more I do that review, the more the people who have watched it, I'll just be suffering under repetition. Instead, I will refer to specific episodes in Awakening from the Meaning Crisis that might be necessary or at least helpful to people. Okay, let's move into some points. These are not intended to be summary points. These are intended to be things that you reflect upon in order to begin the ecology of practices. The way is deeply enmeshed with self-knowledge, but a kind of self-knowledge, Socratic self-knowledge. And again, this is not your autobiography. This is more like your operation manual. How does your mind, how does your embodied mind, because Socrates was a soldier and Plato was a wrestler, how do they actually work? And how does your self work? What kind of thing is it? And how could your mind, body, and self malfunction, go off the path to wisdom? We will need many different practices within our ecology of practices for Socratic self-knowledge, but we need to start somewhere. And I want to start somewhere that's really relevant.
Oh no, and yes. Okay. First of all, it was an emergency. Sylvia was to the point where she would do something to show her displeasure if I didn't feed her. So if anybody from the hive mind could do a sum up of the last 5 and the next 2 minutes, and then we will make it through this trolling After Socrates with Grimgriz, where After Socrates is the new release of the Good Man Professor Professor John Vervaeke, who the Grim Grizz Vervaeke Happening. It's on this channel. People loved it. I feel all I really got through on was like the face on Mars, but like I guess the Walmart part was a hit. Anyway, so if anybody in the hive mind can sum up, and if you can't, we'll just rewind it because I'm being thorough. I'm being thorough in my respectful trolling through of After Socrates. And I want to thank everyone for being here and helping me through it. Really, and Lenny, good to see you. I think another round of saving throws is probably in order. Stay tuned. Oh, yes. Weeks keeps trying to get me to go to Minnesota. And if I survive the assassination attempt tomorrow, maybe. I'd really like for the first paintball for Jesus thing, but I would really like it if the first paintball for Jesus event happened in Kansas City this spring. Other than I would really liking it, that's all that's gone into that, but let it be known. Let it be known. Good episode reference. Okay, that's here. Enjoy the next 2 minutes, and we'll deal when I get back.
Relevant and provocative. The kind of knowing that I'm talking about is the kind of knowing that is trained in mindfulness practices like meditation and contemplation. And we'll see, especially when we get into the Neoplatonic, that these are deeply intermeshed. So you're going to say, oh, but Socrates doesn't meditate. Well, slow down. Maybe not in the formal way within Buddhism, but Socrates it's reported in the dialogues, had this capacity. He would stand for 24, even 48 hours, fixed in place, looking deep within his mind, trance, profound absorption. And the anthropologist Lerman, in her work, has proposed, and there's some already empirical work supporting this, that this capacity for absorption is predictive of a capacity for tremendous spiritual, existential, sapiential self-transcendence. So Socrates was capable of entering into profound states of inner awareness. So the first thing I want you to do, if you wish, is practice round dialogical reflection. You can do it as a daily practice. You could do it perhaps before or after the meditation practice I'm going to teach you. So here's a couple of books, and you can alternate between them. One is Socrates, Quotes and Facts.
Well now. I didn't even make it out the room, and that boy Rascal, Lobster Monkey Rascal, look at him. Look at him. Howdy, ma'am. Oh, all right.
By Blago Kirov. I'm probably mispronouncing that, since I've never seen that name before in my life. Plato quotes, 365 quotes by Plato, by B. Ashadu. Each one of these, this is good because it gives you some facts about Socrates, and then it has quotes. What you need to do is the following. Read one of the quotes, perhaps from Socrates and Plato, and sometimes they'll overlap, but they'll almost always be from slightly different perspectives, and that's important. That's why the alternation. Read a quote, and then engage in dialogical reflection. Socrates, what are you trying to get me to see that I'm not seeing? Resist the easy first interpretation. If you've read anything about Socrates, you know he's going to come in and challenge the easy first interpretation. And then challenge your second interpretation. Challenge the third. Try to get to at least 3. And then ask yourself, after you've been dialoguing with Socrates or Plato? What does this mean for me? How could I put it into practice? How can I try it out to see if it changes things? The other practice you do on a regular basis is imaginal, and you know what imaginal means now, imaginal engagement. Here's a little book called The Allegory of the Cave by Plato. It's one of the most famous passages. Many of you are familiar with it. What you want to do in this is you want to read a section of it. There's natural breaks in there. And then try to imagine yourself in the situation. What am I seeing? How am I feeling about myself? What would it mean to be chained? So I'm only seeing shadows and hearing echoes, and I never can turn around and look at the real. I can never orient myself. And that's important. I can never orient myself in the right way. What would it mean if I got free and realized that everything I thought was real was much less real, in that sense illusory? Imagine yourself, imaginal engagement, imaginal enactment. Don't just read it, don't just picture it, put yourself into it. Put yourself into the perspective, participate in the identity of the people that are in the cave or coming out of the cave.
Bro, you know, you're coming out the speakers, and I keep putting on the headset as if anybody's joining the studio. Like, if I do, it'll probably be Sleeper Cell Shane, just to make me even more scared about tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, you know, I know I have to face the Balrog soon, guys. Is the thing. You don't want out. I just opened the door for you, and then you. She makes me do it 3 times. What is P4S? The 4 Ps? The P. Oh, it's Sally Joe! Please just set up a table as the sports announcer. Did I miss something? Oh, wait. Keep doing it with all the local congregations until... Oh, just send out a flyer. You know what? I'm going to send out a flyer to all your churches, Sally. And, ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment in your heart, right? Even if you're not, right? Just whoever you are. Take a moment of thanks in your heart to the Shadow Cabal who make all of this possible. Thank you. Woo! They're not used to that. They're not used to that. Or maybe don't. Sally. See, I've been thinking about you. I got this guy. This guy here. Sorry, I don't even know where we're at in the we'll get back to it, right? Remember, Embody. Sylvia really wants out or something. And this is a Grimgriz live stream. And I hope hide current comment. Thank you. Ooh. Yeah. All right.
Who's Revlon's next guest? Al, back for the 3rd week on her climb to the $64,000 question is our psychologist from New York City.
Now is sorry, that's out of date for people. When I was growing up, there was a game called the $64,000 question, which
Right.
was the winning the game.
Listen to the Reverend Mother and do what she tells you.
Why? Well, because Rosenthal wants to blocking the inferential blocks the examples I just gave of cat and mammal, right? It blocks that relationship. So he says, nope, that's not going to count because the relationship between A and T of A is non-inferential. He also wants to block weird connections that loop through sensory.
Put your right hand in the box.
What's in the box?
Pain. Stop.
Pain is somewhat problematic for people in terms, I don't mean that it exists or that it's qualia. I mean of people's ability to sort of parse it phenomenologically.
I hold at your neck, the Gomja bar. This one kills only animals.
Are you suggesting a Duke's son is an animal?
Let us say, I suggest you may be human.
I'm suggesting that shit'll get your live stream shut down so fast, bro. So fast. That's probably what she's saying no about. Okay, Sylvia has been let out into the wild like a big girl. Cause complicated reasons. Nobody's coming in here. I should be able to leave the headset off and relax about it. Sally Joe, I got this guy. I call Saint Sartori, right? He's trying to prove that the churches are a good place for men to learn trade guild skills. Like for artisans to find the acolytes and I don't know what they call their disciples and interns when it comes to actual trades anymore. You know, the useful skills like plumbing and carpentry and house building and shit. And you got a place that needs a lot of plumbing and house building and shit. And if he wants to prove to anybody that he's capable of doing plumbing and house building and shit, you have a place where it needs to be done. And also Chad is supposed to be this tiling master. And like, of course, Thunder Bay is a beautiful manifestation, but wouldn't it even be a more beautiful manifestation of the little... So I've been fantasizing about you lately. When's my next herb video? I need another herb video. And Sylvia is not the Shadow Cabal. Sylvia is who is a direct beneficiary of the Buy Me a Coffee. She's part of explicitly benefited by the Buy Me a Coffee fund. Yes, I am. That he's one of the ones, like, you know, this whole, like, get thee behind me Alan Moore thing. I'd love to, you know, but the rift and damage and influence hasn't been grokked properly in my mind, and you can't make something disappear until you fully grok it. Same such with Lynch. Like, fucking, the owls are not what they seem is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. They're never going to be what they seem. They're never going to seem to be the right thing, no matter what. What's up, Lenny? We are all doomed. I was very disappointed in how few people, I even called it out, but nobody listened, to how they slayed him making it through the Gom Jabbar, and the new one was based on his mama on the other side of the door. Yeah, that's true. They will stab him. Maybe they'll. My dreams are never realistic, Sally, but I come from a more optimistic place. Here's some more of Peterson trolling Reiki via Chad.
Who won't like that, but I think the notion of the logos that, you know, especially as you see it coming through the Neoplatonic tradition and taken up into dialogos and to dialectic. I think that deeply converges. The Christian model is ultimately a model of that, and this is, you know, and I'm not going to try and do anything, but the paradox of the unity Trinity is an attempt to somehow say there's something inherently dialogical, I would argue, about how we come into relationship with ultimate reality.
Right.
See, like, perfect. Like, how we come into relationship with ultimate reality, right, Sally? The sweet dreams on the air here, virtually not alone. Get back to work. Okay, fine. Bye. We're back to work. I guess you guys will have to figure it out, the slow motion part on your own. I love you all.
Section by section. You're going to do it again and again. This is a myth in the proper sense of the word. You need to engage with it profoundly. And there's study. I'm picking books that are easy to get and that are cheap in order to start. This is a Dover Thrift, which doesn't mean it's the absolute best translation, but that's not that important at this stage. This is 6 great dialogues by Plato. The Apology, the Credo, the Phaedo, the Phaedrus, the Symposium, and the Republic. Start reading this, but read it to study it. So just read it. Try and learn what you can about it. Try to ask yourself, not just the historical interpretation, what was Plato talking about, what was Socrates on?
Bonus 5 indigo savings throw to magic for catching the mute so fast. Maybe he's trolling Willy Wonka with the suit. No, not trolling, Stumps. You know, I don't know if everybody else here knows how obsessed I am with the Keck hat, which he does not deserve, and I wish I could convince somebody to give me a shot at. But the Keck hat, it's an invocation. He might be invoking Willy Wonka, but not trolling. Not trolling. Okay.
Ask yourself the existential inspiration. And start asking yourself some interesting questions. Why is Plato writing dialogues? Why doesn't he just give the core arguments? And why is Plato almost absent from these dialogues? And what's Socrates' role in the dialogue? Is he just Plato's mouthpiece? We'll come back to this. So, you want to be doing the dialogical reflection.
You see, when I ask myself those questions, like, why was Plato doing this, like, dialectical, intellectual pornography for us people who like arguments and word wrestling and stuff? Why did he do it like that instead of just say, all right, here's the point, blah, 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 blah? Because geniuses such as ourselves, Professor, we put our, like, the napkin ring consciousness stuff that's deep within my channel, we put these things out there like Socrates did. And then people like Plato give a version for the intellectuals to validate as valuable the things we say. And then the entrepreneurs take what we say to sell life coach courses to the entrepreneurs to make them be more entrepreneurs. You see, that's that sack. Thank you. Welcome to the Hive Mind chat for saying words. That is precisely why the trolling After Socrates episode you're now part of features these demon AI drawn chipmunks. More so for people like you listening to me at double speed and getting to hear him in full chipmunk form when I actually play dialogical reflection. Thank you for joining. Oh, I did say more savings throws, right? Ludicrous speed gift. Yeah. In a big enough, oh man. Slack.
Imaginal engagement.
I just gotta say, I have to make a savings throw versus derail into playing other stuff when you say things, Slack.
And in action. You also want to study. You don't have to do all of those. You don't want to. But the more you're willing to do all of them, even just a little, the first two practices will maybe take you 10, 15 minutes. The third one, you could do it another time, read. But read like as if you're going to study. Somebody's going to ask you about this later. And you want to be able to explain, not only explain it to them, but try and attract them to it. That's how you need to read it. And you'll probably get it sort of wrong. We all have. I've read these books multiple times and read multiple books from other people offering interpretations. And every time I go back and see differently what's happening in each one of these. This is how this work can be sacred to me. It's an inexhaustible fountain, ever renewing my
Y'all remember what I said about them gold nuggets earlier on, right? There's a program Mr. Griswold has planned called the Deadwood Intensive, right? And he's coming to the problem that like the only way it would be able to stream for a watch together sort of thing, even if we do it privately on a Discord or whatnot, would be through somebody who has a right proper license with the HBO Max folk, and that him personally streaming that sort of thing really makes him uncomfortable. He's kind of looking for somebody to do the wet work on that, and then we could engage the Deadwood Intensive at full speed. But we got ourselves here a nugget, I think. But a savings throw was promised. So we'll be doing those. Tonight we're doing special ASMR shuffle card shows. Eve is gone. Gone plaid. Good night, Eve. Hello, good night. I don't know. Time zone. Whatever time zone. Thank you, everybody, for helping you saying things here in this Hive Mind chat and me putting them on the screen. Like Eve going plaid, and that helps everybody else know that we're all not alone. We're all here together with shared attention space and why an inexhaustible fountain. Welcome. This is Trolling After Socrates, and if you can handle After Socrates' length, you probably also can make it through this beautiful live stream. And holy smokes, I wish yes, I think the edibles are wearing off. Good morning. Good morning, Eve. Welcome. You're just in time. It turns out somewhere along the way, probably before I fed Sylvia and let her out into the darkness where Buddy and Orlando haven't been seen from for days. Before that, I promised some savings throws, and we're also doing Shuffle ASMR and a card show tonight because it's a long one. So, here's the Shuffle ASMR part. John, you don't have to be on the screen for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I respect you as much as physically possible. It's called an irreverence hindrance. And here's a free confession. I kind of hoped that maybe when Vervaeke said he was going to talk to me, that it was going to be like 4 of them doing an intervention. But no! Anyway, so, here we go. We got the Shuffle ASMR, and then the, I got it. All right, I don't know. They like it quiet. I'm sorry. Why I did it, I don't know what I do. I brought up mukbang once. Somebody did, but Ernest P. Worrell. Wow, like until you said those words, I could have brought that up on command. We're doing a card thing. I just did the ASMR shuffle, and now I gotta do a cut. I'm not sure how to gamify that for the chat. So here you go. Boom, that one. And now for the savings throws versus mind control for the rest of the episode. Weeks, how you trigger warning. Trigger warning me, Weeks. Look at this nonsense. Look at, oh, how dare you. Oh, you were triggered by the fruit. Fruit's up the, good, Eve. Verbal expression of appreciation. What? Yeah, that was verbal expression of appreciation. Yeah, well, savings throws. You get to choose between. This one can be for the rest of your day if you're in that time zone with Eve. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis of your savings throw. If it's over 10 and you have your bonuses, or even if the roll and your bonuses make it over 10, you take half damage from the mind control. How do I get bonuses? They'll tell you later. Whoa, choose survivalist. Q. That's a 2. Socialist with a 14. Lovers of wisdom. Not one. This is tearing you up, I guess. I'm sorry. Hard folks, though, you're fine with an 18. 18. Oh, you guys. Whoa, Sack, Eve. I don't know. I know you guys Eve's got your bonus. Sack. You know what? First time in the Hive chat bonus of +9. I hope that helps. The Queen of Yes. Why do you say these things?
Offering interpretations. And every time I go back and see differently what's happening in each one of these. This is how this work can be sacred to me. It's an inexhaustible fountain, ever renewing my ability to make sense of myself and the world and how to best pursue a good life therein. Imagine someone who...
Okay, wait. Yeah, this is an extra special thing. I'm amazed. If it wasn't for the hive mind, but if you gotta tap out, no disrespect.
What's happening? This is how this work can be sacred to me. It's an inexhaustible fountain, ever renewing my ability to make sense of myself and the world and how to best pursue a good life therein. Imagine someone who said they were a Christian, did not go to church, did not study the Bible, did not try and be like Jesus. Are they Christian? If they really understood it? Can they really be any kind of guide for you? I challenge you, in love, I challenge you to take this up. You really won't understand the lectures unless you're pondering the points and taking up the practices, both the ones I'll do with you and the ones I recommend you do on your own. If you just attend the lectures, you're just reading the Kama Sutra and never making love to anyone. Would you want to do that?
What if I'm too busy making love to someone to have time to read the lectures and do an ecology of practices? Have you developed where making love to somebody fits in your ecology of practices? And if you haven't, I'm willing to do half of that work.
Would you really want to understand what it is to make love with somebody? We'll see that that's actually a powerful metaphor, a very good metaphor for understanding Socrates, because there's a profound relationship, a reciprocal reinterpretation between Socrates and Eros, between Socrates and the erotic. Okay, now we're going to move to our first joint practice. I'm going to teach you the basics.
Oh, no. Oh. But you could still invest. Like I tell people about investment opportunities. You should hear the Marissa Tomei one. It's genius. Good. I assume that when people type I I can, sir. If you get it to me somehow via Discord, I can insert it. Like our semi-theme song that Nolan wrote. Welcome, everybody, to the super long Trolling After Socrates stream. Sound effect. See, I can do sound effects if you give it to me. This is custom. What happened to your speakers, bro? Oh, it's coming through the headset. Oh, put them on then. Holy smokes, that's loud. Alright, good to know. Good to know. The background music comes through the headset, even if the After Socrates comes. Oh, you've been showing that too. All right. What are you doing? Explaining something again? I don't know. Get back to work. Oh, he said the trigger word, guys. What was the trigger word? I don't know. Get triggered again, dumbass.
Reinterpretation between Socrates and Eros, between Socrates and the erotic. Okay, now we're going to move to our first joint practice.
Oh, he said joint practice. He's enjoying, and then there's a yeah, breathe, but just no, do that again. Just breathe through it, guys. We're in this together, even if you can't see me.
Teach you the basics of getting into a mindfulness meditation. So the first practice I want to walk you through is a core practice for beginning.
I don't know what that means.
Mindfulness meditation. We'll do a few more along the mindfulness meditation and contemplation pathway, but this is a really good place to start. Meditation is about finding your center. This is how it's so crucial to the Socratic project of knowing yourself, knowing how you function, how you form. Now this center has three dimensions to it. One is, I'm going to teach you first how to find your center in a way that improves the communication between mind and body. Socrates was a soldier.
I will find the center in you. I will knock over the computer and ruin everything. I could dumbass. Hey, come here. Fucking A. Shh, it's okay. Everything is fine. Just shut up and go back to that.
Sure. Plato was a wrestler. In fact, Plato is his nickname. It means broad shoulders because he was a wrestler. We want to improve the relationship between mind and body so it has that kind of finesse. It has that kind of fluency and fluidity of the soldier or the wrestler, the martial artist. We know that a lot of the time, mind and body are undermining each other or antagonistic. I'm all spun out and I'm stressing my body and filling it with cortisol. Or I can be really hungry or really tired, and that slows down my attempt to think, to understand. But we've also had times when they're in sync, when they're befriending each other. And we know that those are the times when we are most likely to learn, most likely to make progress. Then I'll teach you how to center your attention. You probably think, well, I know how to do that. Give me a chance. And then I'm going to teach you how to center your attitude. So let's begin first by centering our posture. Now, what you might do is you might stiffen yourself and do sort of this, oh, I know what that is, stiff. Let that go. Don't try and calculate your center. What I want you to do is feel, find, because learning to feel and find, and I wish we had a word that sort of was the two of them together. Maybe that's what the tracking is. How to track your center is crucial. So don't start doing it yet. I'm going to explain it to you, and then I will talk you through it. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and then you're going to move off center, and you're going to feel off center. You have in your middle ear a mechanism that's been put through 400 million.
Close your eyes. Only for a moment, and the moment's gone. Fuck is the mouse? Shut up. Just go. People love it. They love the fumbles. They hate the fumbles.
Million years of evolution that really makes this apparent to you. And then you move off center backwards. Feel off center. Oh, this is. And then each time I'll move a little less back and forth until I get centered. Then side to side, same thing. Off center, back and forth until I feel centered. And then once my body feels centered, I'll do the same thing with my head. And find, and I wish we had a word that sort of was the two of them together. Maybe that's what the tracking is. How to track your center is crucial. So don't start doing it yet. I'm going to explain it to you, and then I will talk you through it. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and then you're going to move off center, and you're going to feel off center. You have in your middle ear a mechanism that's been put through 400 million years of evolution that really makes this apparent to you. And then you move off center backwards. Feel off. Oh, this is. And then each time I'll move a little less back and forth until I get centered. Then side to side, same thing. Off center, back and forth until I feel centered. And then once my body feels centered, I'll do the same thing with my head. Front to back, side to side. Why head separately, John? When people first begin meditation, they very, very frequently let their head roll forward like this. First of all, that really cuts off your air supply. So you start doing really shallow chest breathing, which is conducive to anxiety and rumination. You don't want that. Secondly, you're starting yourself with oxygen. You're putting a strain on these muscles. That can lead to headaches, which will make you stop doing the practice. Also, and perhaps most importantly, this is a
Hi, embody. We're awakening to how to meditate again. But this is the part where, like, in the Viveki happening, where he talked to me, he said that the two wolves practice was authorized as an advanced move, where, like, when you're sitting there, if you're sitting there in the meditations, like this, okay? You're sitting there in the meditation of states, and the thought comes to you. Like, something in you generally brings that thought to you. If you visualize, like, the thing that's brought to you as from either the white dog or the black dog, it helps you recalibrate your association with the black dog inside of you, who is, like, there to protect you despite, you know.
a signal that you're falling asleep. This is a signal to your brain. I'm going to sleep now. Part of finding your center is to find a place between two places that your brain is very familiar with. Oh, John's closing his eyes. Daydreaming, mind wandering. Yay, woohoo. Nope. Oh, John's closing his eyes. We're going to sleep. Nope. You're trying to find what at first is a very narrow place between them, center between them, and grow it, expand it, and grow into it.
That whole time? Was it that whole time, or did I catch it?
Once you are centered, torso and head, I'll ask you to relax your chest. That means Let it open. See what my shoulders are doing? This is anxiety, stress, tension, anger. This is I'm open to learn. And my shoulders are down, not up. Open and down. And I'm going to place my hands, and you can experiment. You can place your hands in your legs. You can do a classic, Vedanta kind of practice, or mudra. You can do something more often found in Zen. The point here is to place your hands such that it helps you to keep your chest open, your shoulders down, and add to your sense of stability. Then relax your abdomen. Not so complimentary, I know. Look at your own stomach. Oh. So what? Let it go. This is conducive to baby breathing, the way babies naturally breathe. They don't do shallow breathing in their chest. They do deep abdominal breathing. They expand their abdomen when they're inhaling and contracting, but they're not forcing it. They're not forcing it. They're following their breath.
That shit right there where he called it baby breathing has stuck with me the same way, like, whenever I get out the shower, I turn it cold for a good 20 seconds or something because of Wim Hof. The baby breathing, I'm like, whenever I try to relax now, I make sure my belly goes out, is because of this man. This man right here.
This simultaneously relaxes you and gets a lot of oxygen in your blood, which is important for practice. Then relax your legs. You're probably putting all kinds of effort into them. Make sure that your feet aren't crossed, your feet are touching the floor. Relax your legs. Then relax your face. Try to sink in, really sink in. In two senses of the word sink. Sinking, S-I-N-K, and sinking in, S-Y-N-C, like getting synchronized and dropping into it. Again, like a martial artist about, right? To fight. Now I'll ask you, try to notice what it tastes like. I'm using this metaphorically. What does it feel like in your mind and body to be centered like this? What effects does it have on your mind and body? What effects does it have on how you're oriented towards yourself, oriented towards the world? Why am I doing this? Because you need to create a felt memory of what this is like, what it is like to be you in a centered state, so that you can find your way back to this again.
Oh. Well, you know there, John. You know there, John. Since I'm a reckless person on the internet, which I'm not yet clear best disqualified as a beggar, busker, grifter shill. And we're doing a fancy live stream on Friday morning. Everybody fancy's invited. But the thing is, why did you have to run the promo? Now you're lost. I'll be right back.
What effects does it have on how you're oriented towards yourself, oriented towards the world? Why am I doing this? Because you need to create a felt memory of what this is like, what it is like to be you.
Oh yeah. Memories are slippy. I was like, if it's beneficial for you to make a felt memory in the middle of meditation, then perhaps it's also good for you to make a felt memory of when you are virtually not alone. So you can say, hey, okay, compared to when I'm virtually not alone, this is what it's like when I have one when I meditate. Because otherwise, what if it's only when you meditate to do it? So why don't you go ahead right now and make a felt experience of hearing the sound of the saving throw dice in our special MSR Troll Awakening from Socrates, Crises, Diogenesis style. Hey! Okay, there's that. That's good for you, good for me. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving everyone the added benefit of your psychic presence, because you're more powerful than you know, for our virtually not alone bubble. Thanks for being here with us. Isn't it weird being alive in 2023 now? Whoa. Well, that's the Metanoia Marina. Yeah. But here, while you still can, Happy New Year, everybody. Don't forget you have to change your passwords and update the calendars and yada. And go ahead, a special moment of us together in this long ass.
In a centered state, so that you can find your way back to this again and again and again and again. Okay, so let's do that practice together. You can close your eyes completely. Some of you might want to open your eyes slightly. Unfortunately, I have ears in my left ear, it actually messes up that middle ear. So I probably have to keep my eyes open just a little bit. You don't have to do that. Do what works for you, getting more into this practice. I was able to do it for decades before I contracted my ears.
Hold on. This deserves this deserves serious commentary.
To be centered like this. What effects does it have on your mind and body? What effects does it have on how you're oriented towards yourself, oriented towards the world. Why am I doing this? Because you need to create a felt memory of what this is like, what it is like to be you in a centered state. So that you can find your way back to this again and again and again and again. Okay, so let's do that practice together. You can close your eyes completely. Some of you might want to open your eyes slightly. Unfortunately, I have veneers in my left ear.
This upsets me. Not upsets me, but first, in my previous research on how to meditate, they say to leave your eyes slightly open so they can unfocus properly. And he has to do this like medical history confession. And it's very awkward, and I hope you cut it out from the next version of your project, my good man.
It actually messes up that middle ear. So I probably have to keep my eyes open just a little bit. You don't have to do that. Do what works for you getting more into this practice. I was able to do it for decades before I contracted veneers. But now I've got to keep my eyes slightly open. You don't have to do that. That's peculiar to me. You probably, and most novices, want to keep your eyes completely closed. Okay, so let's do it. Let's close your eyes.
Every now and then I get a little
Nice
bit.
deep cleansing breath. Just like you're sort of washing the insides of your mind and body. Then
Try to wash that clip right out of your head.
Feel that.
It says it.
You don't have to calculate it. Move backwards. Oh, I'm off center. Yeah.
There's a Diogenes reference in the God blessed title. The channel's doomed. We're all doomed. I'm a doomer. It's fine. The Canary Protocol is sort of like martyrdom without ever dying. You see, what happens is.
Now a little less forward, a little less back, back and forth. Slowly zeroing in on where you feel. See how you're tracking? Where you feel centered, front to back. Now side to side, same thing. Oh, I'm off center, yeah. Oh, I'm off center. Oh, yeah, look it back.
That's too been there, done that for me. Let's do something fun together, shall we? We still have, you'd think at this meditation port, like they probably provide 15 minutes of silence. But it says the monkey mind up in an hour and 10, and we still have 25 minutes to go together in this chip. Oh, you make me miss the monster party so bad. You make it so bad. Like, but the next one you gotta face a pap. The candy cane speculum is coming for us all. I'm supposed to tell a story from my past as a hook to bind folk. Every time this monster makes an appearance until he's defeated in the next monster party, I haven't. All right, here, John. Here, meditate for us.
Back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. What happened was, once upon a time, and I don't recall where, okay? But it was like some self-help book or whatnot was like, do you even know what happiness would mean to you? And so I created the space in the Imaginarium, which we shall henceforth refer to as the cabin on the lake. And it involves me and the typewriter looking out the window at the lake cabin with the dock and someone in a plaid shirt with a cup of coffee. And so that was like what happiness meant for me, and now it's this hyper object in my imaginarium. And when my dad came back playing this fishing game, Fishing Planet, I found he took me to this place called White Moose where all the fish broke my reels, and it sent me back like down to Noobland. And he laughed and laughed and laughed. But this place, White Moose, it has this cabin on the lake. And like, it's been such a dream to pursue this cabin on the lake when really I just need the mental to insert myself into the imaginarium version to accomplish the write a book, Grim, that's supposed to happen at the cabin on the lake. And now you've got the Pap Smear story. Thanks, Pap. Oh. Anyway. Oh, was I muted that whole time?
This is from a meditation course. But it's still helpful.
Well, he was quiet the whole time.
Your mind is always framing reality. It's always paying attention to this, foregrounding it, backgrounding this, and ignoring all of that. You're always framing. And that's always sizing up the world, creating a particular salience landscape, a flowing landscape of how things are standing out to you, grabbing your attention, arousing you metabolically.
Back to the work, Grim. Oh yes, we're here on a mission that's not our holy quest, but a mission nonetheless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on this, for becoming part of the hive mind here, where you can be more than audience because we're in a participatory media portion of reality. Welcome. You help us feel virtually not alone. Thank you. We're doing the Trolling After Socrates. After Socrates being the new video product by our good friend Professor John Vervaeke, who's done the John Vervaeke Happening link somewhere on the channel. Remember, embody. Remember, embody. You are embodying the image of something. You are embodying what you believe at your core. You are the embodiment of something. It's beautiful, especially if you show us that one part. But all of it is really, because agape! The salience landscape, Ramachandran and Oberman of 2006 said it first. Oh my God, Ramachandran said it first? I'm not going to use it if Ramachandran said it first. A salience landscape is the way a cognitive agent determines relevance through decisions about how to commit its attentional and behavioral resources, including watching Grimgriz on YouTube, in a complex, dynamic, and self-organizing manner. Hey, I'm brought up right off. These decisions and commitments result in certain information from the environment standing out more than other information, such that a cognitive agent will only orient to certain aspects of objects and situations. Oh, mea culpa if I get this wrong, John. Mea culpa if this is wrong. I got a guy in my head named Enrique. He's my salience landscaper. And I look at the world and what's going on, and then I compare it with what's going on in my imaginarium. And I'm like, hey, Enrique, if anything I'm not paying attention to becomes something I should pay attention to, why don't you run up here and get me? You're my salience landscaper now. And I'll give you a block of salt for it. And you can sell it at the village pinata or whatever y'all do. Yeah.
Symbolically, generating particular affective states in you. That mental framing is like your glasses. If you wear them. I do. Now notice, my glasses enable me to see, but they also limit. I'm looking through them in two senses. I'm looking beyond them by means of them. Beyond them and by means of them. They're both enabling me and limiting me. That's how they function. That's how your attention, your arousal, and your affect function. All the time, moment by moment. There's a problem with framing, supporting a lensing. What's that problem? Well, these lenses could actually be rose-colored, as we say. Rose-colored glasses. He or she is not seeing the world as it is because the glasses are tinted. Or maybe there's dirt on them, or they're distorting. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? How do I self-correct?
That's fucking awesome, Eric. Because, like, I heard a Mumford song once. It said, I will know my name when it's called again. And it resonated so hard that I'm waiting for that now. So, congratulations, sir. He says, I know who I am in truth. And I know how I serve in truth. So, and then he's three times. He doesn't need my damn saving throws.
I need to step back and look at my glasses. They're no longer transparent to me. They're opaque. I'm looking at them. I'm looking and seeing, are they rose-colored? Are they tinted? Is there gunk on them? Are they distorting? That's what you're doing when you're finding your attentional center. You're stepping back and looking at the normally transparent way you have been looking through to the world. Okay, nice analogy perhaps, abstract. What does that mean concretely, John? What that means is, what are you normally looking through in order to make sense? There's a clue in that phrase, of the world. You're looking through your sensations. You don't look at them, you look through them. You're always looking through at the world. What you want to do in this practice is you want to step back and look at them. Well, which sensations? Good question. So we're going to pick sensations for practical purpose, sensations that line up with that baby breathing that we got in centering our posture. And that, as we'll see, have deep spiritual significance. This is the breath, following the sensation.
Oh, you're just running around spreading other people's brain nuggets in here. It's from a feller named Paul Selig, and it's a mantra. It's a mantra. I know who I am. I know who I serve. In truth. In truth. I know who I am. I know who I serve. In truth. In truth.
In the abdomen being generated by the breath. So as I inhale, my abdomen expands and I can feel that. I'm going to gently say to myself, in. I'm not paying attention to the in. I'm using the in to track and trace, to follow those sensations as they unfold as I'm inhaling. And then as I exhale, out, and I follow the sensations. Looking at the sensations, tracking them in and out, in and out. And what will happen pretty fast.
Imagine, if you will, that you were an animal being farmed for your fear or something. And it didn't behoove anybody that didn't know and like you to tell you that you shouldn't pee in the house if you want to get by in civilized society. And you imagine, so you grow up in the situation where people just like go when they gotta go. And like however society developed around it, that's perfectly fine behavior. And then you come and walk around us and you pee all over the house. There's this thing called the urinary sphincter, which controls whether or not you pee. And we teach people as in small infant behavior, their physical sensations of that sensation, that means you have to pee. And so that whole sphincter control thing. The gory and horrible thing about meditation is that like your urinary flow, your attention has a sphincter. And meditation is the best known exercise of how to feel what it's like to gain control over your attention. So you wiggle it around to what it feels like over here. What does my finger feel like? What does my poor lungs cry out for? You know, the different physical sensations. What is my brain doing? You feel it all out. You play the lantern of your attention. You bounce it off the walls of your brain, and you're learning control of your attention sphincter, and it's a goddamn shame they didn't teach you to do it when you were 8 years old, but now it's the grown-up adult thing to do as part of your human development.
Is your mind will leap away and you'll start looking at the world again. I'm listening to something. I'm planning, I'm doing my laundry. I'm wondering if Roger still loves me. What do we do then?
Roger will always love you, even if he just grows attached to the heartache you caused him.
We step back and label the distracting process. We don't get involved with the content because we're stepping back and looking at. We label the process with an ing word. Imagining, complaining, planning, listening.
That's the part. This is the part of the meditation in which we like imagining. Like, is it a fear? Is the black dog bringing it to me? Or is it a hopeful imagining? Is it from the white dog? I love you both. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
And then we return our attention to following the sensations of our breath. Now, it's very important to frame this the right way. There's that framing again. If you think...
You know, Weeks gives an important point here. I don't know that I've verbally given appreciative love to the people who watch the replays of these things to make sure they're not, I'm not certified. I don't know why they would do it except to feel a part of us. Well, like, you know, because we're timeless, or you can be asynchronously virtually not alone thanks to the miracle of the replay. And while we love your attention and your presence here, Weeks, anybody who does watch the replay gets a +2 indigo to next saves. The next live stream they do catch. Or something.
It's going to be so noisy in there. I won't be able to follow one or two, and my mind's going to wander all over the place. You're right. Oh, well, that means that I won't ever meditate, because unless my mind goes calm and still and wide open like a Canadian tundra, then I'm not meditating. I've failed. You're exactly wrong. There's a Buddhist metaphor for this. It's like you've got a glass of dirty water, and what you're doing is you're using your spoon and you're trying to push the dirt down, and you're only making it worse. Instead of thinking of that, when you go off and you catch yourself, I want you to take this to heart. Catching yourself in distraction and coming back is the core of the practice. That's what will transfer to your life. Think of that going out and coming back as like doing reps, building the muscle of mindfulness. That is meditation. That is meditation. You'll have to do so many reps. Well, if you wanted to build actual physiological muscle, well, 1, 2, 3 reps, I'm done. No, you have to do thousands in a lifelong practice. You've spent all of this time building up habits of mind and body. You're trying to enter into capacity to transform them, Socratic self-knowledge and aspiration, and you're putting this much time of meditation against it. You have to be tremendously patient and frame this the right way. Now that helps me move to the third thing. Centering your attitude, being oriented in the right way.
Here's a disclaimer. I don't know whether or not his definition of attitude is the same as the one in the video I was running y'all earlier about how it's whether you're aligned to good and evil, and you approach whether or not the world is good and evil, and that's a demonstration of your attitude. When someone says you need an attitude adjustment, that's what it means. I don't know if that's what he means by attitude.
So that part of your mind that jumps around, in the Buddhist tradition, it's called monkey mind. Like a monkey jumping from branch to branch. Your mind jumps and chatters as it goes from thought to thought. Suppose you're trying to get that monkey to stay still. Jack Kornfield has a great analogy for this. He doesn't use a monkey, he uses a puppy.
Well, that Jack Kornfield, he's trained as a Buddhist monk in the monasteries of Thailand, India, and Burma, because the ones here suck. He's taught meditation internationally since 1974 and is one of the key teachers to introduce Buddhist mindfulness practices to the West.
Because people are more familiar with dogs. So let's just use his analogy as is. You're trying to train a puppy dog to stay. Okay, so you put the puppy dog down, stay. The puppy dog wanders away. Your mind wanders away. If you, stay. If you're fighting the puppy, you're training it to fear you and fight you. Let that rumble around a bit in your mind. If you fight it, if you're frustrated with it, you will train it to fight and fear you, and things will get worse. Oh, so I know, meditation's about just letting things be, letting go, letting it flow. Stay, puppy dog. Oh, he went over there. Oh, well. Oh, now it's over there. Oh, now it's over there. You train the puppy dog? No. You're just feeding its misbehavior. You're just indulging it. You want to be centered in your attitude between fighting your monkey mind and feeding it. You're trying to befriend yourself, and that is so resonant with the Socratic project. So, okay, stay. Again.
Stay. We almost made it together through the grim craze. Trolling After Socrates live stream event project thingy. So stay. Like the good little dog he just suggested everybody be. We're gonna make it, y'all. We're gonna make, look at that. We only got 12 more minutes. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together.
Again.
Oh no, Sylvia won't in.
Okay, so let's review.
Let's review. Sylvia won't in.
You're gonna center your posture the way I guided you through it.
In case anybody's actually trying to learn something, we're gonna do the review in slow speed while I let Sylvia in.
You're going to center your attention, tracking the sensations of your breath in, out. When your mind wanders, you label the distracting process. You don't get involved with its content. And you label it with an ing word, and then you return your attention to the breath. And you frame it the right way. That is meditation. That's building the muscle of mindfulness. And as you return to your breath, you center your attitude. I'm learning to neither fight nor feed my monkey mind, which is like learning to find the place between ruminating and mind wandering and falling asleep. You're finding all these centers. That's why Buddhism called it the middle path. You're going to see that Socrates is doing something very deeply analogous to this.
When people mention the middle path, Sylvia, come on. No, she ain't into it. She doesn't want to be whored out that way. See, the thing is, some people will give you monies on the internet if you show them your cat. And Buddy was down like that. I think he's chasing tail. I don't know. It's been a while. And so she's a princess. She's not good. So shame on me for trying to whatever. Back to anyway.
There's a couple things to help you when you start to practice this on your own. How do you know? You may be saying, John, how do I know when I'm distracted or not? Good question. Think of your mind as a stage. This is actually part of a current important theory of consciousness called the global workspace. Think of your mind as a stage, and there's a mic on it, and a spotlight. If the majority of your mind, the spotlight, is on your breath, and it's got the mic of your mind.
Oh my God. You know, hey, Bart. I hate that I'm going to take the time to do this. But I am. And welcome. You can come back in like 2 minutes if it's too much. I have to. I don't know why. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you feel virtually not alone.
Christian idea of the logos. I think so too. I mean, there's lots of people who won't like that.
But I think the notion of the logos that, especially as you see it coming through the Neoplatonic tradition and taken up into dialogos and to dialogue. I think that deeply converges. The Christian model is ultimately a model of that, and this is, I'm not going to try and do anything, but the paradox of the unity trinity is an attempt to somehow say there's something inherently dialogical, I would argue, about how we how we come into relationship with ultimate reality.
Right, right.
And that's
Right, and it's an attempt to solve the problem of unity and multiplicity as well. So I've been looking at the transformation.
To solve the problem of unity and multiplicity, he says. Well, that's a convenient matchup with what was triggered. No, you have to click this first and then full screen.
I'm not allowed to make fun of me anymore. Thank you, Hedwig. Everything's fine now.
Kevin went ground.
Kevin is asleep. We've made him sleep far away. You can call his name all you like, dear, but he's not going to hear you. The beast has shared.
He doesn't got the light. He doesn't got the light on the stage, Socrates.
There's stuff going off on the periphery, murbling. You are still following your breath. Don't turn your attention to distractions. It's only when they have turned you, and the majority of the spotlight and the mic are no longer on your breath, they're on something else you want, you're planning on doing, or remembering, or regretting, or whatever. That's when you step back and label the distracting process with an ing word. How precise do I need to be with that? Don't worry about getting it absolutely right or wrong. Well, so have I said regretting, or maybe I was just remembering. Like, what first comes to mind? Try to use different labels, of course. That's important. It helps you to start to differentiate all of this incohate happening. But don't pretend the kind of precision that you can't actually have. Remembering, imagining. That's good enough. When you're doing this practice, initially, this will be another demand on you. This will be hard. You have to plan for it. I recommend doing 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. Not right before you're going to sleep. In between dinner and sleep, midway. Plan for it. If you say, I'll fit it in my day. No, you won't. I've been doing this for 3 decades. I've been teaching it for 2 decades. You won't.
Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You ain't going to do it then.
Like a needy friend, like befriending yourself. Socrates, and we'll see this, he would say to people, why do you spend so much time on your hair and your clothing and so little time on your soul?
On the attention sphincter. Why such little time?
Try to do it at the same time, the same place, at least for the first 5 or 6 weeks. It's really important, that regularity. It helps to build a deep habit. At the core of virtue, and we'll talk about virtue, is habit. But don't, habits there. No. Inhabit. Monks wore habits. We inhabit a place. Think about it that way. Think about habit that way. It's good.
And inhabit is good wizardry. Thank you, John.
Idea to ring a bell, perhaps light some incense. This helps the conditioning of the habit that you're trying to acquire. Don't try to meditate right after having a forceful conversation with somebody. You'll just play the tapes in your head. You won't be able to get any sort of significant centering going. Don't practice right after listening to music or watching a movie. You'll just play the tapes in your head. Don't practice right after eating. You'll just listen to your stomach. Why can't I practice right before going to sleep? Because one of 2 things will happen. You'll fall asleep. And then you're teaching your brain that the point of meditation is to fall asleep. And that is not the point of meditation.
Given that like this is actually work, right? And I am trolling the specific thing here that's being said. This thing he just said. You see, this guy, where I have an irreverence hindrance, he sort of has a reverence hindrance. And this whole like don't meditate except when it's pure meditation thing. Like you can step into your safe zone whenever you want. And it's just, that's not meditation. That's this other ecology of practices thing. But
meditation is not a vacation. It is an education. You are trying to build habits, skills, virtues, states of mind that transfer to your life, percolate through your psyche, permeate the domains in which you're engaging in your most important endeavors. Or you'll do the practice correctly and you'll wake up, and then you won't be able to fall asleep. Don't practice right before going to sleep. When you're practicing, weird stuff can happen. You can be sitting there and you can feel like an electric shock just went through your body. You can know that you're sitting, but you feel like you're floating towards the ceiling, or that you're sinking into the floor, or you're twisted even though you're not twisted. This has happened to me. It's happened to many people who meditate.
That's because our modern society has you so shoved up into your left brain narrative self that you've disconnected with all sorts of other parts of yourself, and it's trippy AFO. as they come back online. Don't wig out. That's just part of the ride.
You're alone, and you hear, it's clear as a bell, your name called out, John, and there's nobody around. None of these things mean you're going insane. None of these things mean you're a Buddha or on the cusp of enlightenment. Let both of those go. Treat any of these like another distraction, label it with an ing word, return to following your breath. One important thing, one important caveat. If, there's two important things, if something comes up that is clearly indicative of trauma that you've experienced, psychological, sexual, violence, etc., stop this practice. This practice has shown you that you need professional therapeutic help. Under those conditions, stop this practice. If you're already in therapy, for whatever reasons, tell your therapist you're undertaking this practice. In fact, tell them all the practices you're undertaking. Finally, two things that are related. Get a timer. You have a phone. These are very easy nowadays. Don't sit with like a watch or I'll sit for 10 minutes and I know when 10 minutes will have passed or I know when 15 minutes will pass. No, you won't. You'll sit and you'll be like dead sure. Yeah, it's been 15 minutes and you open your eyes and 7 minutes will have gone by. Your sense of the flow of time while you're in meditation is distorted for a very long time. I can do it now, but I've been meditating since 1991. Okay. Now listen very, very carefully. How you come out of your sitting is part of your practice. When the timer goes off, don't just, okay, I'm done. Slowly open your eyes. Try to notice how it is. What's it feel like to come into yourself and come into the world? What does it feel like to come into yourself and into the world? And try as best as you can to integrate what you cultivated in your practice with your everyday consciousness.
Where does it feel like to come into the world, and where the fuck were you just before? Were you in the field of loving consciousness that holds this place together, where our dreams are made manifest for us to feel and embody? Just remember that we all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency. Finish it up, John. We're almost home.
Consciousness and cognition. Meditation is not a vacation. It is an education. You're building a bridge between your practice and your life. You want what you're doing in your practice to go in your life, and you want what's happening in your life to come into your practice. Not the content, but the processes, the habits that are triggered, etc. Slowly come out of the practice, tasting what it's like to come into yourself and into the world again, your everyday self in the everyday world. And try as best you can to integrate what you cultivated in your practice with that everyday consciousness, cognition, and sense of self. Okay, that is the first practice that we have learned together. I recommend, if you really want to start on the path of Socratic self-knowledge, that you start doing this practice and the other practices that I explained to you. And as always, thank you so very much for your time and attention. It's important to realize that Socrates...
No, next episode spoilers. It's important when you come out of the practice of watching an episode of After Socrates to engage in the practices talked about therein. And this time is meditation homework. And, in this event, we were doing a different practice, and that practice was virtual presencing together to the Hive Mind chat, since no one came into the link, and chipmunk watch partying your work. It's a different practice, and the thing with the fucking general guy is most of the time he'll just pull out and run away, and that leaves you feeling empty and cold inside. And I don't know how anybody in the Hive Mind or the Discord copes with that, to be frank with you. But like he says, when you come out of watching an episode of the Graham Kress live stream and being virtually not alone with everybody, let's say the best thing you can do is find something you can get actual oxytocin from. And then that will give you the bonding hormone that should have been associated with the companionship experience, being virtually not alone. Which means like touch somebody for 5 seconds or more. Like it's hard, even if lay hands or pet something, or I don't know. Like we can make a Huberman distillate of what can get you oxytocin at some point. I got to do the cannabis one first. I'm behind schedule. That's when the dog Jake hit me. Bonus pap smear. That's on the Substack though. Eve, thank you. Okay, goodbye everybody. We made it through this. Jesus, it was long. Trolling After Socrates, even though we played him at Socrates speed.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
Yes, of course, always. I never want to leave it unsaid that thank you to the Shadow Cabal of production executives, and especially all of you who are virtually not alone with the rest of us, and Magic in the chat, and everybody who presences for everybody else. Valerie's leather is great. Goodbye, everybody. Okay. Thanks, John, for all you do. This is the Metanoia Marina, the Broken Clock Tower.